off on a road to synchronicity. We're paving a way all our own.
Though different we may be, we think in a very similar way.
Though you're a Mexican school teacher and I'm just really gay, we're off on a road to synchronicity. In everything we do it live. Conversating and relating news, come what may.
To your question, there's only one answer, it's yes, always.
Yes, always.
Every month there's one truth we've found.
We're a couple of loons, and furthermore, we're synchronicity bound.
Hello, people of the internet. I am Andres Perez, aka Kaij Noir, and welcome to another edition of Audio Synchronicity. I'm, of course, your host, Andres Perez, aka Kaij Noir, as I just mentioned, and here with me is my co-pilot, the one and only Brayton Connor.
Hey, good Saturday evening, everybody. We are on the road to synchronicity, and we're also on the road to doing this podcast for an entire year because we're already at episode 9.
Woo!
Only a couple more months to go. It's crazy.
Holy shit, man. We're almost there at our 1-year anniversary. That is just bonkers, man. Do people say bonkers?
The miracle has
No,
lasted this long.
No, people do not say bonkers. I have just realized that. It's like, yes,
we say bonkers because we're a couple of loons.
Absolutely. We're a couple of loonies. A bunch of loony bins. You know,
That's
we're bringing that shit back, yo.
Can you not tell by this amazing photo?
Reconnection successful. Okay. You know, what I love about streaming through OBS is that even if your internet goes kaput, it doesn't interrupt the actual live streaming itself. So, like, once you're back on track, then you can hear us. It says, Godzilla154 says, well, rest in peace, stream. I'm just going to comment, can anyone still hear us? Let's see. Primal Graphenosaurus Rex says refresh. So I guess if you were to refresh the live stream page, okay. Mazingersaurus says yes. Jordan says yes. Primal Graphenosaurus Rex says yes. Okay, we are back on track. So what I was
We've just had a fucking cavalcade of nonsense happen today.
Yes. Like first it was your internet.
This is the opening of Disneyland all over again.
Oh boy. And speaking of Disneyland, we'll get into that we'll be getting to the topic of Disneyland very soon. But I do want to say thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. And by the way, before we came on, we saw the really well-made, very intense little, what do you call a short story? A soliloquy? No.
A soliloquy, yeah, there
I think
you go.
so. Yeah, a nice little soliloquy by Primal Graphenosaurus Rex discussing the cliffhanger we left on with Brain Connor not being interested in Gunbuster and how the fate of humanity relies on him watching this quote-unquote damn show.
Well, I'm sorry, humanity, but I'm just not motivated.
Let's see. Oh, before we went offline, we were talking about how some people in the chat room are already talking about Godzilla City on the Edge of Battle. And so I was thinking, would you be interested, Brayton, in doing a possible, like, answering, going into, like, spoiler discussion? Not so much like you and I talking about the movie because you haven't seen it, but since you're not even interested...
and I have no plans to see it.
Right, you have no plans on seeing it, so you don't even mind spoilers, right?
No, not at all.
So I'm thinking, what if we were to answer, like at the very end of the live stream, we can go into spoilers by answering any questions that people have in the live stream, because I know some people had questions about the movie, and so I'm thinking for the Q&A section, we can go into that. And I know Danny, he himself is not really... he's not sensitive to spoilers. Like when Shin Godzilla came out, he pretty much like I went on a chat. I was chatting with him, and we just answered all his questions. So I'm thinking if we invite him, of course, spoiling our mystery guest,
Damn it, Andre!
We might be able to do this. Okay, so let me just go into this. I'm actually going to share the live stream around. Let's see. Just going to copy the link here. And let's see. Would you like to, as per tradition, like to vamp for a second with our audience while I'm showing the live stream around or sharing the live
Sure,
stream
I'll
around?
vamp with the audience.
All
How's
right, then.
everybody doing? How's the weather where you guys are at? Because it's pretty damn miserable here. It's 90 degrees. Summer has really kicked into high gear this last week. It's just been brutal. We've got some fans going, so I apologize for the ambiance that you may be hearing in the background of my audio.
Same here.
Yeah.
Once again, that humidity is on the rise.
Oh man, I hate hot. I don't do well in hot climates. I'm used to living in cold, dark places. Whenever summer comes along, and it gets humid, my body just shuts down, and I start to sweat and feel miserable and cry, and it's just a terrible cycle, Andres. It's a mess.
It's maddening.
It is maddening. It's a huge problem.
Quite huge.
Huge problem. Yes.
I can tell you that.
Believe me.
Let's see. And yeah, you know that things are you ever have one of those moments or one of those nights where it's so hot that you have to turn on the fan, but then when you sleep with the fan, you wake up with a very dry throat?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That always sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's see.
Yeah, I can stand. I can bear the heat. It is though the humidity really is the thing that whenever you go outside and your lungs fill up with that just summer sickness that is the outside world. It's always just a pain.
Right.
Why can't it be cold all year? I want to live. I want to live like the snow miser. I want to live on a cloud where it's always cold, and I have doppelganger minion midgets who look just like me, and we can sing elaborate musical numbers together. It'll be great.
And you can remain as pale as you want and not be subjected to any sort of unfair punishment because of it.
Yeah, you have to deal with your annoying brother, your Rosie O'Donnell looking heat miser, but outside of that, it's a fun life you'd live. I don't see why the heat has to be so mean. I've done nothing to it. Maybe Mother Nature is upset that I haven't watched Gunbuster Andres.
Maybe it's like it's a blessing in disguise that you did not see it.
I don't know.
I mean, could you? I'm not sure if you can even handle it.
I don't think I can handle it.
Probably.
I got to get out of the kitchen.
Yeah. Let's see. I got one more place I need to share this on, but I'm gonna need my mobile phone, my cellular phone, as the young hip kids call them, I think.
I'm talking on a old 1970s era car phone right now, so that's what that is.
Make sure to pull up the entire antenna first.
Oh yes. It's bigger than my head. It's very intimidating, and I look like a goof, but that's fine. I'm not going for appearances here.
No, but just be careful because there's a small chance it might give you cancer with the radioactive radio waves. It's powered on nuclear radiation.
Well, I'm sure I'll be fine because I got my cigarette here too, so I'm sure I'll be fine.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure I'll be fine and cancer free.
Yes, indeed, and whatever popular drugs that were around at the time.
Oh sure.
Yeah.
Well, if Inshoma's here, he can tell us. He was alive in the 70s, I think.
Absolutely, yes. He's old. He was old enough. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Tell us about the 70s, Raph.
Yeah. Well, back in my day, our aliens used to look like aliens and not just people in funny makeup. And everything was much better. And people were young people didn't exist except me, the ones that were me.
Oh my god, that sounds like a science fiction story, going to a planet where it's entirely populated by Inshomas. Oh yeah. My goodness. Kind of a Planet of the Apes scenario where you're stranded there.
Planet of the Raps.
Oh my god.
And let's see. Almost ready there. I'm on the verge of being finished. Let's see, and I know a lot of people are talking about Ready Player One right now. Some people are talking about Thundercats Roar, and we all know how popular that topic has been online.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I bet you people love about that little project. Let's see, we got 10 people watching now with already 4 likes. That is great. Let's see.
We like to be liked.
Yeah.
We love to be loved.
That is our lot
But
in
we
life.
hate to be hated.
Well, if you say you hate being hated, that only attracts more hate.
Oh.
You see,
So we love to be hated, then? Is that?
I think so, yes. That's the only way. We have to fight hate with love.
Oh!
It's cheesy, but it works.
Well, that sounds like a lot of hard work. It's easier if I don't do that.
Okay, now we are ready. Okay then, so let's get into it. So you mentioned before about Disneyland, and you know what? Speaking, we were just also talking about Godzilla. So with Godzilla City on the Edge of Battle, I mentioned that there is no Mechagodzilla action to be seen there. So, and you know what? I feel like the one place where we can find mechanical dragon monsters are the one place we can find them is not through Ready Player One, but from the happiest place on Earth, you know, Wally World. No, Disneyland.
Yeah, just go inside. It's a Small World, and then there's tons of them there. Just giant mechanical monsters of terror and death.
It's a world of laughter, a world
Or a
of
world
cheer.
of.
So the first story I brought up was a particular mechanical dragon that caught fire at Disney World. So let's see, I'm just going to put up the image right here. There we go. So there you see on the live stream a very beautiful image of a cool steampunk looking version of the Maleficent dragon from Sleeping Beauty. And you know what? If I didn't know any better, I'd say that flaming like Ghost Rider head was simply meant to be part of the show. And yeah, are you able to see it? Or probably not.
No, but I can imagine.
Okay. Oh, there we go. So it's on the live stream right now. So let's see. Where at Disney World? Well, from the looks of it, it appears to be like Main Street, USA. So just getting into the article right now. It's a very short article. Let's see. In Orlando, Florida, Disney officials say a dragon float caught fire at a parade during a parade at Walt Disney World. The Orlando Sentinel reports that the flames were quickly extinguished Friday afternoon during the Magic Kingdom's daily Festival of Fantasy parade. Video shot by park visitors show that the dragon representing the Sleeping Beauty character Maleficent bobbing its burning head up and down. The dragon is designed to blow smoke and fire from its mouth. Let's see. So fire is supposed to be coming out of the dragon, not burning from within the dragon. Let's see.
Was this sent by the Key Locks? Is this what this is? Is this the fire dragon?
Maybe this is it. It was, what was it, 1999 from in that movie's story. Right. So it's like they were about like over 10 years late, but I think they finally got that fire dragon to start working.
Finally, and it's slightly less disappointing this time around.
Right. It's you know what? At least it's doing something as opposed to anime Mechagodzilla.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. The firefighters responded, but the flames were out by the time they arrived. Social media videos show a Disney worker using a fire extinguisher on the dragon. Disney spokeswoman said no injuries were reported, and police officials were still trying to determine what went wrong. I think what went wrong was trying to put a giant flamethrower inside an active machine.
Yeah, that sounds like a recipe for disaster, Disney. I mean, come on.
And you know what? I was watching the video again before we started, and you know what? You would think it'd be part of the show, but then you start to see like pieces starting to fall from the Maleficent dragon's head, and so I was like, "Oh, okay, this doesn't look good." And then I saw
Mommy, why is the dragon burning to death?
Mommy, why am I suffering from third-degree burns? Is this part of the show?
Quiet, it's part of the show.
Okay, Mom. And then you see like in the video you were like I think one person with like with a fire extinguisher trying to blow smoke into the dragon's face, but then like the flames just grew bigger. And what's funny is that like the entire parade stopped, but the music is still playing. So like you look over to like the float where Pinocchio is at, and Pinocchio, he's just like kind of awkwardly waving to the audience. It's like, guys, what's going on here? It's like you know, one of those moments where it's like one of those awkward moments where you really don't know what to do, what's going on. So you're just standing there in front of everyone, trying to imagine them all in their underwear just to make yourself somewhat more comfortable. Let's see. Can I send you? Am I able to send you a video on Skype?
I can't guarantee I'll be able to watch it.
Okay, so I'll try to send the Maleficent video on Skype. As for the live stream, let's see. Oh, okay, it looks like D-Man is up there. And looks like Denny is also here as well. And yeah, you know what? You're right, D-Man. I was just thinking of the Kong incident. And let's see, Jordan says, that only works in the movies, Andres. Let's see. Can I send it? It's probably not going to work. Oh, okay, I think it did work. Okay, so yeah, if you were to click on the link that I just shared, you're able to see the Maleficent dragon in action. Let's see. And so yeah, it's quite a spectacle to behold. I think the people who were there at Disney World got more than they bargained for. And for those who don't remember, this was D-Man was referencing this. I think it was in Vietnam, I think, or the Philippines, where there was like a big giant Kong Skull Island display. And there were some like fireworks or sparks, and then the whole entire float caught on fire.
Oh yes, I remember this. Yes.
And so like the entire thing caught on fire, and like for a few brief moments, they had this like badass image of like a Kong, like a Ghost Rider-esque Kong flaming head. And so, yeah, that was something. I wonder if I can find an image here.
I'm just reminded of the Michael Jackson Pepsi commercial where his hair caught on fire. That's what they should include this video in with the Disney World commercials that they have with all the little happy kids, all the little happy children running around and taking pictures, Donald Duck and everything, and then just include a burning dragon in the background caught on fire and being
what could possibly
falling
go wrong?
Apart. Yeah,
And
we'll make people come out in droves. If they do that every day, they have to do that every day though for the parade.
Oh no, that'd be a disaster. Okay, so
or just set more like characters on fire because everybody expects it now.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Trying to move the image. Let's see, transform, fit to screen. There we go. So there's an image right there of the burning Kong float. It looks incredibly amazing, but that's so not what they wanted to happen. Yeah, let's see, looking at the comments. Let's see. Jordan's like, yep, it's definitely on fire. Let's see. It was a Vietnamese King Kong statue. He was like 20 feet tall, and he was burning down. Let's see. You know, it'd be super ironic if it was like the Frozen float that caught on fire instead of Maleficent.
Oh, that'd be awesome! Yes.
I mean, it'd be awesome for people who hate the movie Frozen, but it's also just pure irony.
Let it go! And then just everything bursts into flame.
Let it go! Can't hold me back anymore.
The ice on the float starts to melt.
Let's see. All right, then. So that is our first story. Just, some pyrotechnic shenanigans.
Yes.
So
I'd like to think it was some disgruntled workers from Universal coming in there and sabotaging it. I want to come up with a backstory for us.
Right. And so the next story on our hands is actually something. It's not really news, any sort of news, but rather it's an individual that I wanted to take a look at because, especially due to the fact that. What was it? Avengers Infinity War is currently like one of the highest grossing superhero movies ever, if not one of the highest grossing movies ever made. And so
Isn't every new Marvel movie that comes out though one of the highest grossing superhero movies ever and one of the highest grossing movies? I feel like that's been a common trend for the last couple of years with your Black Panthers and your Thors and whatever the fuck else.
Well, to steal a page from Masako X from Team 4-Star, it's all down to marketing. So
I guess.
They just need to find some sort of niche little record in order to promote that they broke. It's like, oh, it's the highest grossing movie in this country. It's the highest grossing movie starring a black guy. It's a highest grossing movie to feature women. It's the highest grossing movie of the summer. Highest grossing movie in March. The highest grossing opening for a movie in the spring. It's the highest grossing movie for March. So we got the so basically no matter what record it's breaking, Avengers Infinity War is without a doubt a smashing success. I don't know why I went Nigel Thornberry there, but there you go. So I want to bring up a real-life superhero to, tie in with the whole superhero madness going on. And so I want to ask the audience, because you didn't know about this individual, are any of you aware of the real-life superhero from Seattle who goes by the name of Phoenix Jones? Because this was
is he really a superhero if he doesn't have any powers on race?
Well, Batman doesn't have any powers, and
yeah, but I mean, he works along people who do have superpowers.
Watchmen, none of them have superpowers save for the Blue Man.
Oh yeah, they got the Blue Man in their crew, so there's some wiggle.
I don't know. Maybe. Well, he calls himself a superhero.
Is Phoenix Jones a superhero or a good dude who happens to be wearing a latex or rubber suit? I don't know.
Well, let's see. Is he a Superman or is he a super freak?
I hope it's the latter.
Let's see. So let's see. Denny says Batman is rich. That's his superpower.
Oh yes, we all know that if you've seen Justice League. That's true.
Yeah. Like, what do you do? I'm rich.
I'm rich.
That doesn't answer my question. I said, what do you do?
No, I just want to. He shows me a video of him saying, "Hi, I'm Bruce Wayne. I'm in my garage, out in my backyard. Got a couple Batmobiles."
But the one thing that's better than materialistic things, it's knowledge. That's why I have these 3,000 books in my Batcave.
You know how I could afford these books? Because I'm rich.
If you want to know how to be rich like me, you have to do the 5 easy steps, which you can look into my website down below, clicking the link below, which you have to pay your subscription for.
Gotta have rich parents. They gotta get shot in an alley. You gotta inherit all their money. You gotta dress like a bat. It's a very simple process.
That might not be 5 steps, but if you want to know the more steps, give me more money.
Right.
So let's see. So yeah, as for Phoenix Jones, let me see if I can find an image for him. So you know what? Phoenix Jones was quote-unquote, is part of this phenomenon known as real-life superheroes. And yes, they're essentially vigilantes in leather suits. And so these are people who kind of run around up and down the streets trying to solve crime with supposed police and military training, trying to be as Batman as they can without being rich. And oh yeah, it was funny enough seeing him, trying to find a good picture of him, because if you were to Google his name, Phoenix Jones, 2 words. And D-Man said, I never heard of this guy. I mean, maybe. I used to watch documentaries about real-life superheroes, so it is possible. Interesting that you mentioned that, because I think there is a documentary on Netflix about real-life superheroes, and one of them was this group that's based in my hometown of San Diego, and guess what they call themselves, Brayton?
Oh, this is gonna be fun. Please tell.
Justice League Extreme.
Oh, come on, guys.
I mean, can't you call yourselves something that's less on the nose or copyrighted?
Yeah. That's like calling yourself Avengers totally awesome. It's
or
it's
at least
really lazy.
Or like what was it that what the Asylum Pictures did?
Yeah.
Avengers Grimm. It's all grim
Yeah,
fairy tale characters.
that's the same thing.
Let's see.
Couldn't call them is extreme at least spelled like just X and then Treem?
I think
Or is
so.
it okay, well
Let's
that's
see.
kind of cool.
Justice League Extreme. Oh, sorry, my bad. They call themselves Extreme Justice League.
Oh, well that's even better.
Yes, always. And yeah, so but we're not talking about the superheroes of San Diego, even though these are individuals who
You're a superhero of San Diego in my heart, Andres.
Thank you very much. No, to be honest,
Yes.
I've never seen any of these individuals in like the years that I spent growing up in San Diego. But no, we're going all the way to the most dangerous city in America, Seattle.
Oh my God, home of the Space Needle and iCarly. What else is in
Starbucks?
Oh yeah, Oh well, there you go. That's where evil lurks.
Yes, you see the Phoenix Jones. He has to go after like the evil hipsters of Seattle. He's gonna go take them down one Starbucks at a time.
Yeah, I bet Starbucks is like a big front for like a huge criminal organizations of crappy, overpriced drinks and whatnot.
And filled to the brim, evil drinks are filled to the brim with evil.
Evil!
Evil!
Yes.
Evil! So I just shared a picture, one of the few good-looking, professionally shot photos of Phoenix Jones. Let's see. So yeah, it looks like no one... Oh, okay, Green Arrow is supposedly based in Seattle. Thank you very much, Kevin. It looks like no one here has ever heard of Phoenix Jones. So let me tell you how I came across this individual. So he looks like he's from Kick-Ass. Funny enough, you should mention that, Mazingersaurus. He pretty much showed up in Seattle around the same time as the first Kick-Ass movie. And so there was this podcast I used to listen to called Let's Do This. It was on an old website, movie reviewing website called Spill.com. And so the two people who were doing this podcast, they would kind of do what we did, and actually, the whole kind of format of the show is sort of inspired by Spill.com's Let's Do This, where they also look at weird news. So they looked at this individual named Phoenix Jones, and this was at like the height of his popularity, and so it was really funny. I highly recommend you guys look like Let's Do This Phoenix Jones. I think you might be able to find some people have like taken bits of their podcast and re-uploaded it on YouTube, because right now, like, the whole entire website is dead, and the people from Spill.com left and did other websites like doubletoasted.com. And let's see. So going into Phoenix Jones, I'm gonna just he's so popular. He has his own Wikipedia page. I don't know how much that means to you guys. I don't know how much that means to you guys, but it means.
I mean, is it really a big feat to create a Wikipedia page though? Can't anyebody just do that if you're an editor for Wikipedia?
I don't know. I mean, then again, David is a Wikipedia editor, so I guess it's not that big of an accomplishment.
Yeah, which is a horrifying concept. He has that much power at his hands. But
yeah, every once in a while you're gonna see words like pest, boy, and hey, all over the Wikipedia articles. That's how you know. That's his little signature that he leaves there. It's like a special message that he leaves for people to decode. Anyway, so with Phoenix Jones, born Benjamin John Francis Fodor, born 1988 in Texas, is an American real-life superhero. Initially wearing a ski mask to intervene in a public assault, Fodor later developed a full costume.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Andres, but yeah. Fodor is a much better superhero name than Phoenix Jones. Why doesn't he just use that?
I don't know, because he thought Phoenix Jones sounds like it's going to be the next Dolomite.
I don't know. Well, then again, Fodor kind of sounds like a place in a J.R.R. Tolkien book, so maybe not. But continue. I'm sorry for interrupting.
It's spelled Fodor, so I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce that. Fodor.
Fodor. I like Fodor.
Fodor. Me too. Let's see. So Fodor later developed a full costume and adopted Phoenix Jones as a pseudonym. From 2011 until its dissolution in 2014, Jones was the leader of the Rain City superhero movement in Seattle, Washington. Base citizen patrol group that described itself as a crime prevention brigade. Jones says the best way to prevent getting mistaken for a criminal by the police is to wear a supersuit. Although local police have expressed concerns that the strange costumes may lead to emergency calls from citizens who mistake the superheroes for criminals. It's like if I wear this supersuit, you know, people automatically associate me as a symbol for justice. Even though, you know, people are going to be like...
That's why Frozone's wife hid the supersuit, so people don't mistake them for criminals.
Meanwhile, you're going to have, like, some old lady like, I think someone from the mental asylum is running down the street in his underpants. Let's see, Jones
wait, no, that's my husband, George. Never mind. Hey, George.
George, get back in here and put some pants on.
Yeah, I know. It's the same thing every time. Get back in here.
Let's see. I can imagine Phoenix Jones is like, "Where's my super suit?" Let's see. Jones.
Oh, there it is.
Jones says,
"Mom, did you wash it?" Yes, son.
Did you remember to use the special fabric softener? I need to look good during my patrols when I'm fighting crime and seeking justice. Jones says that all members of the Rain City superhero movement have a military or mixed martial arts background. You know, I also happen to have a martial arts background, but you don't see me parading the streets. As
I have to question how effective you are, even with a martial arts background, if you're covered in just like the rubber suit. If it prohibits movement.
I'm assuming like leather, rubber, and bulletproof vests are gonna kind of restrict your movements. I mean, like, this is kind of the equipment you wear when you're trying to, fight. You're trying to fight, go against people with guns. You know, so it's like you're not trying to fight them. Maybe you can like punch them, but maybe not like use any sort of fancy schmancy Batman moves. But let's see. Jones is also a mixed martial artist signed to World Series of Fighting, where he has fought at 2 catch weights, which include fighting his older brother, foster brother, UFC Strikeforce, and 1 champion fighter, Carlos Fodor. Let's see. Adoption of the persona. Jones says he wanted to take policing matters into his own hands after a few incidents changed his mind about Seattle. He's like, there's too much crime around here. In the land of Seattle, too many hipsters floating about.
And so a giant phoenix flew through the window of Starbucks, and then from that moment on, he knew he had his calling.
The first was when Jones says that his car was broken into, and his son was injured after returning to the vehicle and falling on the broken glass. Jones was told that several people saw the break-in happen, but did not intervene. Later, Jones says he encountered a friend being seriously assaulted outside a bar, and after calling 911, he put on the mask from the earlier break-in and made a commotion.
Here, this'll help! Just puts on the mask and waits for crime to happen.
He puts on a ski mask and it's like, everybody! Call 911! Let's see. It made a commotion until the police showed up and most likely tried to arrest him. No. I thought, why didn't somebody help him? And there were 70 people outside the bar and nobody did anything because people are assholes. Let's see. Jones went on to develop a full costume and pseudonym when his crime-fighting behavior made him too recognizable. In a CBS News broadcast, Jones is shown entering a back room of an unnamed comic book store in which he changes into his costume, which consists of dragon skin brand bulletproof vest and stab plating, as well as equipped with a stun baton, pepper spray or tear gas, handcuffs, and a first aid kit. Jones later became part of the Rain City superhero movement. In July 2011, local police recorded 10 citizens patrolling the city in superhero costumes using the name, are you ready for this?
Oh, yeah.
Thorn, Buster Doe, Green
Why didn't they just use Fodor?
Buster Doe, Green Reaper, The
These are
Mantis.
poor names.
The Mantis. Gemini. No Name.
Oh, they're not even trying.
Catastrophe.
And Battaglia.
Thunder 88. Penelope. And Phoenix Jones.
And Ted.
An individual using the pseudonym Red Dragon has also self-identified as being a member of the group. Mm-hmm. And so here we have on the Wikipedia page is a timeline of all the events that Phoenix Jones was involved in. So 2011, January 2nd, 2011, Phoenix Jones stopped and chased away a car thief as the car owner, who was later asked to be identified only as Dan, stood by in shock as Jones ran into action. CBS News introduced Dan and Phoenix Jones to one another. After the following Monday evening, Dan proceeded to thank Jones numerous times, while later talking about Phoenix's gear. So I guess it's like some guy was trying to break into the car, and Jones was like running up to him. It's like, "Stop! Halt, citizen!" And
I saw it first.
And I guess like for any criminal, you just see some crazy guy in a brightly black and gold costume, you're sure to
I'm getting the fuck out of there.
Right. He's like, he was intimidated by my awesome presence. No,
yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. A few days later, ABC News aired a news story covering Jones. In this report, footage shows Phoenix Jones preventing an intoxicated man from entering his car. Jones threatened Jones threatened to use
little things that count.
Jones threatened to use his stun baton as the angry and inebriated man approached Jones with the intent to fight. In the video, a police officer is shown later talking to Phoenix Jones and his group regarding the effects masks may have on an intoxicated individual. Now,
hey, back up, buddy. I'm perfectly okay. I'll knock both of you out. Come on.
Hold there, evildoer.
Oh, you smell bad.
It's time to take care of you. No, seriously, I think you might hurt people. I do want to take care of you. But I guess,
how many have you had?
I've got enough to know that. To have the right sense of mind to know that I'm better than you, because I'm not dressed like you.
Don't judge me.
Pajamas.
You're not better than me because you wear a mask.
Mr.
I'm
Batman,
having a good
sir.
time.
It's like, when you're already intoxicated, your sense of judgment is already kind of like out the window. So when you see a man dressed up like Batman, I can only imagine how an intoxicated individual may react to such a sight.
I'm hoping Waffle Man was there to fight off Phoenix Jones and tell the drunk man to get in the car and nothing bad will happen.
Let the man go, Phoenix Jones. It's my old nemesis, Waffle Man.
That's right.
These people have the right to make up their own decisions.
Let the Darwin effect take full swing.
Let's see. September 24th, 2011, the Belltown neighborhoods of Seattle, Phoenix. In the Belltown neighborhood of Seattle, Phoenix Jones doused a man with pepper spray after he attempts to steal a bus. The driver of the bus had been handing out flyers when another individual attempted to steal the bus. Jones was reported to have intervened, and the hijacker escaped with his skin dyed orange due to the spray. Jones says he didn't receive any help from Seattle police, who took hours to respond to the incident. I'm sure the police probably have a grudge against Phoenix Jones. It's like, hey man, this is our job. And, they probably intentionally fucked with him at that point. It's like, well, I guess this person's got a handle of the situation, eh? I guess we should let the big old superhero think he's super special. But yeah, I know that in many interviews on the topic of real life superheroes, the police, they actually hate real life superheroes because A, they're doing their job, and B, they feel like they're causing more of a disturbance with their vigilante actions. They should be condemned. If they don't want to be famous, we'll make them infamous.
Yeah.
Let's see, October 9th, 2011, in Seattle, Jones was arrested for his role in an altercation involving pepper spray. Close associates who were present and equipped with a video camera told reporters that Phoenix Jones broke up an unfair fight between two groups of nightclub patrons. According to police reports, the officers who responded determined that there was no fight, with one member of the group denying that anyone among them had been fighting. They asked that the masked man be arrested for attacking them. According to one woman who was involved in the altercation, after an argument had broken out between her group and another, Jones suddenly approached and pepper sprayed them, saying, "I'm a superhero!" Stop fighting!
Phoenix Jones, alter ego Christian.
The next day,
Sonic's feet aren't blue.
The next day, videographer Ryan McNamee uploaded a video online showing Jones responding to what McNamee described as a huge fight. McNamee's video shows the woman hitting Phoenix Jones and another person with her shoe. Jones was released on bail hours later with no charges having been filed. Another incident, hours later, Phoenix Jones had come to the defense of a potential fight victim. Police arrived after the aggression had fled. In their reports, the police called it a case of questionable use of pepper spray, but the victim later told Seattle Times that Jones was indeed a hero who had saved him from a potential beatdown. And then there's like a few more. That's kind of like the 2011 was pretty much the highlight of this superhero's career. And let's see. And there were some incidents in 2012, 2015, mostly involving pepper spray and stopping crime by just saying, "Hey, stop that!" and people run away, or he would pepper spray somebody and they run away. Really, he doesn't really use a whole lot of his actual like combat skills. He just mostly resorts to just the intimidation factor or just pepper spray. Let's see. The last two incidents was 2015, Seattle, Washington. Jones spotted 3 men pistol whipping another man. And after alerting police, charged the man holding the gun and knocked it out of his hand. The 3 were arrested for assault, with one being charged with possession of a firearm by a felon. In 2016, Jones attempted to assist authorities in talking the man in the tree down from the 80-foot sequoia he had climbed, but police rejected the offer. It's like, "Thanks, Mr. Phoenix Jones, we got this.
No, thanks.
No. Let's see. Anything else? No, not really. And so there really isn't a whole lot here from Phoenix Jones. He was eventually arrested, like in that incident at the tail end of 2011, and he showed his real identity. And I would say, like, perhaps like his one real superpower was able to hide that massive flat top into his Batman-esque cowl. Like, if you were to look at any sort of I'm sure you just Google Phoenix Jones again, and you'll see he has this like giant like flat top. And like imagine like the Fresh Prince's hair if it was like a foot taller.
Oh my God!
It's like the fact that you were able to hide all of that into that mask. That's that's a real accomplishment right there.
It's sad though when that's at the height of the accomplishments.
And so the last thing I've heard about him was actually in this year when Black Panther came out. When I was researching Phoenix Jones, I found there was a recent news interview where a reporter actually was interviewing Phoenix Jones during the weekend of Black Panther's premiere. And he's like, "Yeah, well, I'm very happy that, someone that we have, a black superhero to actually look at, to appreciate and, look up to. And that, yeah.
Because no one appreciates me."
And I'm very sure that people, are like, will be inspired like me to do what I do. And the interviewer, he was kind of like, trying to not mock him, but he was interviewing him while dressed up as Captain America, which I think was pretty suitable for the situation. But yeah, that is the tale of Phoenix Jones. Kick-ass? Dumbass? You decide.
Yeah, well, it's nice to see people with good intentions out there.
That is true.
But,
and he apparently did help people in the end, so he was able to accomplish what he wanted to do.
Right.
And you know what? More power to him. However, I would say that, superheroes, are cool in fiction. In real life, I feel like it would not go down the way it would.
Kind of like flying cars,
Yes, it's a great idea and concept, but in real life, it's like
doesn't work.
Yeah, you don't want to do that, and real life supervillains are not like the ones in comic books,
Yeah.
Unless they're written by Frank Miller, then maybe, but you're really...
Well, Frank Miller himself, modern day Frank Miller, is a super villain from a comic book. So I don't know if there's... I don't know.
But yeah, I'm thinking that perhaps it's very dangerous. You'll not only are you putting yourself in danger, you're putting your family in danger, and you're by interrupting or getting involved in like police proceedings. That just makes it more difficult for the police to handle things, and obviously police go through a lot of physical and mental training to do what they do, and for anyone to go in there with no professional training, it can be very devastating, if not deadly. So it's like, if you want to be a superhero in real life, be fucking careful and maybe think twice about what you're going to do. I mean, this guy I feel like Phoenix Jones got off lucky, like scot-free, because he lives in Seattle, which is not a very, like, crime-ridden city. Like, I think if he went to, like, I don't know, Detroit, he'll probably be dead after the first year.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. So now that is it for the Tale of Phoenix Jones. I'm just gonna see if I can.
Now, a question though, Andres.
Yes.
If you were a superhero,
yes,
what would your name be?
Let's see. Like seriously,
would it be Kaiju Noir?
Maybe
yeah.
not.
If you were a Phoenix Jones powerless superhero,
yeah,
who went around and pepper sprayed people and chased after people in cars and stopped drunk people from getting in their cars. What would
stopping fights outside of bars and stopping drunk drivers, giving sandwiches to the homeless.
Yeah. I feel like another side note though, real quick. I feel like if you want to help people, volunteer at like a shelter or someplace where you can do it without getting shot. I don't know.
I think like that happened to one person where he tried to fight crime as a superhero, but now he just served sandwiches to the homeless after getting the fuck beat out of him.
Yeah.
Drake, like Denny is saying, the sarcastic Mexican. Conga, man. Half man, all man. Let's see. Crooked says, can I be a superhero? I have a superpower. I have the power to anger anyone I talk to with one sentence.
I mean, that's pretty impressive.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, just from that comment, I'm already furious at you.
Although, if we're talking about the internet, it's very easy to piss someone off with just one sentence. Like, here's a sentence.
Like Mechagodzilla isn't in this movie, and
or no,
it's not that great.
I think Thundercat's roar is good. Yeah, I bet that triggered a lot of you. I don't think so. I don't think that's the case, but like I don't think what I just said is true. But that was just an example. The border leaper.
Oh man.
The ability to leap the borders of time and space and countries. Let's see. So if I was a superhero,
Can you see where you're going though when you leap over the borders, or do sometimes you accidentally end up in a place you do not want to end up? like you suppose you're leaping the border from Mexico to America, and you like end up in Hawaii, or Hawaii is America. What am I saying?
Hawaii, yes. you still get your accomplishment, but like you leap the border, and all of a sudden everyone's like, "Oh, hey, how are you doing, eh?" It's like, "Oh no, I leaped too far."
Right. Oh, we got another one over here. You don't see many of your type.
Usually we had a lot of people from America trying to escape the Trump, but this is something quite different that we're not quite particularly
heck. Well, it's good to throw, it's good to have a wild card every once in a while. Welcome in.
Oh, wow, this is actually much more pleasant. Why did I ever thought about coming to America? But let's see. I remember back in the day, I forgot when this game came out, but this was an online MMO called DC Universe Online, and I actually created this character by the name of Midnight. It was like MIDKNIGHT, and so I just created Midnight to be kind of like this person who was like, imagine Batman if his armor was more like kaiju-fied, like with claws and like scaly armor.
Nice.
So and like a hood, and like trying to like just like make him like Batman but with more monstrous looking armor, kind of like I don't know, like Sauron from Lord of the Rings. or like, yeah, very spiky demonic armor. So it's like Midnight would probably be it. In fact, I actually wrote a treatment for Midnight, but it wasn't actually a superhero movie. It was kind of like a parody / homage to like Frank Miller vigilante noir like storytelling with like a neat little twist at the end that Midnight might not be who he claims to be. So I'm sure a lot of people have already used the name of Midnight with or without the K pun. So but yeah, I think that would be my superhero name. What would your superhero name be?
I would be Fancy Man, and I'd be a fashion superhero.
Oh no, here's a better one. The Dandy.
Oh, the Dandy, I like that. I don't have any powers, except when it comes to
sassiness.
Sassiness, yeah, just overall sassiness.
Deadly amounts of sass.
His sass is off the charts. I acquired this in a tragic industrial accident where I fell into like a vat of just like sassy black women, and
oh snap!
And from there it was all over.
It caused a startling metamorphosis. Now, whenever he gets angry, a startling transformation occurs. You hear the music. Now he must pretend that he is Brayden Connor. Must pretend the world believes Brayden Connor is dead, and he must convince the world that he is dead until he can find the sassy beast within. Dun 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 dun. On the other half, he was the sassy black woman, like wagging the finger and moving her head side to side.
I'm just imagining me in like in a horrible Tyler Perry Medea kind of outfit. I don't know if that's racist or not.
Racist, not racist. You decide, internet.
I don't know. It's 2018 and it's the internet. It's hard to tell anymore, really.
Yeah, it's a mad world out there. It's a mad world. So let's see. I'm currently inviting our mystery guest into the fray.
It wasn't a mystery because you blew the reveal
right.
at the beginning of the podcast, Andre.
So let's see. Denny, are you there?
I don't know. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. We
yes,
can hear
it's
you
Dino
loud and
Man.
clear.
This is Dino Man. Actually, before we get too started, I have something awesome to show you guys that I've just been working on while listening to your guys' podcast.
Oh, snap.
It is...
Zip your pants. Don't unzip your pants.
Well, now that you mention it.
Oh, no!
It's
an anatomically correct dinosaur.
Well, if we're going to go down that road of questioning...
Oh, no. I'm sorry I said anything.
As a matter of fact, my young Brayton, despite your Photoshop skills, you know nothing about reptilian anatomy.
I don't.
Yes.
I wasn't there looking up under the... I wasn't looking up the T-Rex's skirts back millions of years ago. So, no, I don't know. I'm not a paleontologist like you, Denny. We can't all be special.
I know you can't. That's why you have me.
Yes.
He fulfills a larger purpose in life.
Right.
As for Crooked Lord, what would his superhero name be? Well, I think Crooked Man already fits as a superhero name, if not a supervillain name.
That's more like an anti-hero name. It's like, who am I? I'm the Crooked Man. I don't give a crooked shit. I don't give a crooked shit. Go on your get off your crooked ass. And go do some crooked meth. I don't know.
Yeah, it almost reminds me. It was like run as fast as you can. You can't out troll me. I'm the Crooked Man.
I'm the Crooked Man.
Ooh. I don't know why I'm thinking like some weird like Lucky Charms Irish accent.
And people are running.
The Crooked Man is me.
No, the crooked man be me.
And Steve is saying, "Oh no, it's Denny." He logs off and closes YouTube window.
You can't run from me, Steve. You cannot escape justice.
Justice. With a side order of peppered spray.
No, justice with a side order of freedom fries. Because that meme hasn't been killed yet.
But anyways, what is the thing you want to share?
It is currently in the Skype channel here. It is. Oh. I just got finished with this. It's for the Kaiju vs. Cancer charity. I figured you'd appreciate it.
Let's see. Oh, I don't see
and that way,
so can you send it to me via Facebook so I can share it on the live stream?
Yes.
Always.
Yes, always, forever. Where'd it go?
And is this the art that you recently showcased on social media this week?
Oh no, this will show up on your guys' stuff as the first ever internet broadcast of it.
Oh snap! We got a reveal of Denny Roth's latest masterpiece.
Oh man.
Yes, Godzilla King of Kaiju. I do watch Godzilla movies. In fact, I am a fairly decent-sized Godzilla fan, I would have to say.
And he's a kick-ass Godzilla artist.
I am.
Unofficial Godzilla artist, but an artist nonetheless.
I am a fan artist of the varying qualities and capabilities.
Let's see. Oh, actually, for those of you who don't know, because it's been I can't remember the last time I had Denny on the channel, but you might remember
the Halloween live stream, I think, right?
Yeah, we did the
I
Halloween
think it was. I was on there. We started talking dinosaurs, and everyone just started leaving because no one cared.
Yes, I remember
Bunch
this.
Of great.
And we did the I think one of our most popular collaborations was the fall of Kaiju Combat, where we talked about
that got the most that brought the most scorn upon our heads.
Yeah, but it was definitely it was quite a show in the aftermath of that video, which we
show is an understatement.
it was a very strange occurrence in the comment section of the video.
So we do plan on doing initially weren't planning on doing a follow up to that video. We just want to sit back and watch the ship sink further and further. Into the strange abyss, but
yeah, it's I think it's pretty much hit the event horizon, as you will. So I think we may be perfectly within range of doing a follow up on that with Steve. I think I'd like to get Steven a call and do another couple hour not live stream, but podcast.
Yeah, we can definitely, because Steve definitely has like more information on Kaiju Combat. On the inner workings of Kaiju Combat.
I'll put it that way.
He's got evidence. This guy knows how to cover his ass. But, did you get it, Andres? Oh, let's see. Facebook, let's check. I did not get it on Facebook yet. Nor did I receive it on Skype.
I sent it on Skype into our chat with you and Brayton. Because it's showing up there for me.
It's not showing for me. And then again, Skype has this weird thing where I can share stuff, but people can't share stuff with me. So that's why I'm asking, can you share this through Facebook?
Well, if it doesn't show up on Facebook... Oh, wait. No, wait. There it goes. Okay, nope, I pulled a dumb. It should be loading. If that doesn't load, I'm going to put a link to my DeviantArt stash where it is saved currently. It's currently waiting to be released after it's been broadcast.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
You finished that. Okay.
I finished that. Okay, to answer you, Godzilla King of Kaiju, if you're going to pit a T-Rex versus a Spinosaurus, two conditions. If it's on land, the T-Rex, without a doubt. It's got the strongest bite force of any terrestrial animal. If not in the top 5. The Spinosaurus, while being more quadrupedic and more semi-aquatic, doesn't have quite the bite force, and I would argue probably wouldn't be able to survive a bite to the neck. But that's just me because I have issues against a Horner, so don't mind me. I'm just going to sit over here in the corner and twitch.
Let's see. So let's see. I'm guessing you're not a Horner fan.
Okay, I'll put it this way. Horner has done a lot of good for the paleontological community as far as a lot of the research he's done. He was the one that discovered and described the Myosauria, pushed forward the idea that dinosaurs were actually good parents and didn't just leave their eggs in a mound of grass and stuff to decompose and warm up the eggs before moving on. He's done a lot of good for the dinosaur community, but he also has done some things that have been very controversial, which does spur more research. So he's a good and bad thing in the paleontology community, I think.
Okay. And what are your feelings towards Bob Barker?
Bob Barker is an interesting case because he's very charismatic.
Yeah. He's my favorite host of The Price is Right, by
far. Get out. But as far as I know, okay, don't get me enraged. I'll start getting enraged. So to finish off on Bob Barker,
you don't like him when he's enraged.
Oh God, I'll go off on stuff. Okay, so Bob Barker, as far as dinosaur work is concerned, he is very charismatic, and he can get you to and he can explain his side pretty well. His problem is he doesn't put out articles and research to be peer reviewed as actual research. He'd rather try and convince you through
fancy talk.
Person. Not really so much. It's a little bit more like proselytizing than actual science. But Horner has done a lot of really good stuff for the paleontology community as well. So he's kind of it's an either or, and I've actually met him a couple of times. He's a really great guy, like very, very charismatic. And he has evidence to prove his stuff. He just doesn't put out papers as much as he used to, which is kind of his downfall.
Lazy?
I'm sorry?
Maybe he's lazy? He's like, I don't want to do all that peer review and the paperwork shit.
I can't comment on what his actual mental stance of that is, but he has the means, the methods, the information, the evidence to do it. He just hasn't for some reason, and I don't quite know why. But I'm not going to try and speculate his thought process because that's really not my place.
Okay. And let's see, we had a question from Crooked saying, Denny, who is your favorite
character? Hold on. Since we're an hour in now and people are going off script and entering their questions already, should we start taking questions from the audience, do you think?
Yes, I believe so. But first, let's talk about the image that I just shared on here. So this is Denny Roth's latest piece for the Kaiju vs. Cancer charity fund. But you did not make this as a shirt, but you're planning on selling this as a print. Am I correct?
Oh yeah, no, I'll sell it as a print. That's not a problem. Just whether or not people will buy it as a print, because I've had my own character for sale as prints before, and no one touches them. And so we'll see if this We'll see how this goes.
So this is your own original character, Donut Steel.
Donut Steel, yes. It's not a lemon. You remember me and Andrew
that's a reference to Andrew Battaglia's video.
Reference. But yeah, no, it is my own original kaiju, which I'm not really much of making my own kaiju willy-nilly and everything, so I wanted to come up with something a little bit unique. And I think I did a pretty good job with them.
So this is like Crystar, from what you've told me, is like a human who mutated into this scaly armored monster.
Yes. Basically what happened is, long story short, is the human character is kind of a bit of an outcast. He doesn't fit into sports. He's very intelligent, loves astronomy, notices an asteroid falling to Earth, goes and investigates, and finds a bit of a chunk of rock crystal and gem and crystal that he makes into a little amulet that he wears, but starts changing his body and transforming him until he becomes the monster that he is now. And some other stuff happens in the story, not important, but that's the basic gist of it.
Okay, cool. And now you have him graciously donating ice cream to the kids from St. Jude's Hospital.
Yes, and that building is actually based off the St. Jude's main St. Jude's headquarters in Tennessee.
Nice. Excellent, man. Great job here. And let's see, would you like to share your other work that you were recently commissioned to do for the charity?
Yeah, let me go ahead and drop ye a copy of that. Yeah, here it is.
We have quite a lot of questions, or a lot of conversation going on in the comment section right now concerning Mechagodzilla.
Oh, of course, always Mechagodzilla.
What's really funny is that, like, when Toho first announced Godzilla City on the Edge of Battle, they were kind of promoting City on the Edge of Battle as, like, this was going to be the year of Mechagodzilla. And I remember in D-Man 1954's video, D-Man, I'm not sure if you can expound upon this, but you mentioned something about how Toho was, he covered this news that Toho was planning on, like, reselling or re-releasing all the Mechagodzilla movies, and they were planning on making all this Mechagodzilla related merchandise which I did not see in my movie theater, because as some people like Matt from Monstrosity's Tokusatsu Vlogs channel mentioned, there was hardly any promotion. Like, there's apparently, like, a lot of the promotion that D-Man talked about that Toho was going to do, that a lot of that promotion really did not happen, or at least I didn't see any happen, because Toho seems to be, like, backing out of this anime project and have kind of, like, quietly started just releasing the second movie and perhaps the next movie as well.
That's kind of interesting, because it seems to be Toho's almost modus operandi. It seems, we're going to wait until this character seems to be doing really well, then we'll put him back out there. and we'll test the waters a little bit. And if he's going to do well, then we'll push him back out there. But if we start getting a lot of backlash, we're just going to go ahead and pull him back.
Like, I get a feeling like with this with City on the Edge of Battle, like as soon as people started reacting, both Americans and especially Japan, because Japan doesn't seem to be really giving a shit about this anime trilogy. They, as soon as the movie started underperforming, I bet they're like, oh fuck, oh shit, what do we do? Oh god. They're
oh my
like
god,
panicking.
panic mode.
Press the button.
Some Toho exec is running down the hall screaming, "Cut the feed!" and pushing like a year's worth of exercise into a 10-second sprint down the hall.
Right. Let's see. So I'm going to share the other piece. Now, this one was commissioned by Greg. How do you pronounce it? Greg Nunman?
I think it's Nonman.
Nonman. So he commissioned you to do 2 characters that were owned by 2 different people. One of which being our own friend Matt Denian, and let's see.
The other one is a Samuel J. L. something. I feel really terrible. I can't remember his name, but no, it was kind of an interesting one. I went through several different rough sketches before I picked the one I thought was the most dynamic that would work for a confrontation between the 2 that would actually be. Whoa, that's
yeah, it's zoomed in. That's what happens whenever I try to get a picture in.
That's a zoomed in. You don't know what's happening there, but it's awesome. I promise you.
I will say, even zoomed in, it looks beautiful. Like all the detail and line work looks great. So yes, this is Matt Denian's very first kaiju, very first original character, Donut Steel, Chimera, which is like this part lion, part gorilla, part whale monster, genetically engineered monster, government genetically engineered monster, fighting against this thing, which you know more about than I do.
It's called. I've gotten 2 different spellings for it. It's either Atlanteon or Atlanteon. It's a giant bobbit worm.
Nice.
And those things, if you ever see a video of a bobbit worm, which I would recommend go find one, they are freaking terrifying. I did take a little bit of artistic license with the colorization, but other than that, a lot of the anatomy and bits and pieces are pretty much consistent.
Okay. And let's see, listening to D-Man's response, he says, from what I know, Toho is using the anime to drive up hype for Legendary's Godzilla. The ads that I covered in my videos weren't for the theaters, they were mainly for the Godzilla store. Ah, okay, alright. Certain theaters had displays featuring a large Godzilla statue and loads of posters for the movie. Most of these displays were in Nagoya. Okay, because Nagoya is a big-ass city. Alright. Thank you very much for the clarification, D-Man.
Go, D-Man.
Let's see. All right, so let me see if I can display both of your art pieces. Let's see. Because I'm still a bit new to OBS. Let's see. Moving over to the side. Let's see. This should work. Let's see. Yep. And then... Okay, this should be... They're probably not centered, but they're good enough to showcase your talent on screen. Okay, so to finally get into the question section of our live stream, yes, if you want to ask a question, start typing them now, and please put in capital letters question right before your actual question, like Kevin does right here. So, question, Kaiju Noir, is the Transformers considered super robots or real robots? That's a very good question, but I think I might consider them super robots. I think, Steve, if you're watching, I'd like to know your opinion, but you guys?
I'd make the argument that they're more real robots because they're supposed to be a sci-fi kind of aspect, kind of similar to Gundam.
Okay.
Which would make them a little bit more of a real one, but just like a science fiction sense of real instead of super robots. Granted, they do stuff that is extraordinary, but then again, so does Wing Gundam and all of Gundam Wing. So does God Gundam and G Gundam. I mean, honestly, come on, guys.
Maybe but I guess I was thinking more like the anime Transformers, where you have like Super Optimus Prime mode or whatever.
Oh no, that's an actual thing that happens in the toys. Don't get me started.
Yeah. When are we going to get a combiner gun? No, I'm not going to go down that avenue. So,
no, you already have the answer. It's the first Gundam, Andres.
Oh yeah, technically the top half and the bottom half combine. Yeah, and you got the what do you call
And the
that?
cockpit is its own little plane.
Right. Let's see.
See, I know things.
Jordan says, so that's why Godzilla looks, and anime Godzilla looks like 2014 Godzilla. Arkham Knight says, did you hear that Ron Perlman will be playing Optimus Prime and Mark Hamill will be playing the Fallen in Machinima's Transformers Prime Wars trilogy? Yes, I did, and as awesome as that is, I know it's gonna suck. I just saw, I don't know, I've only seen a very little bits of Combiner Wars and Titan's Return, and none of them look appealing to me, personally. Especially in the case of the animation. Let's see. Oh, we got a lot of people flooding.
Yeah,
they're
pouring in.
Oh boy, it's almost turning into D-Man's chat with the speed of all these comments.
Only slightly less horrible racist and homophobic slurs in the comments here.
Oh, slightly less, yes.
Let's see. Nothing against you, D-Man. I know you cannot control that.
The price of fame.
Yeah. Let's see. Crooked says, don't show both of his pictures. Denny will think this is all about him, says Crooked.
Pay me, okay, Crooked, pay me my money. Pay me my money, damn it.
Let's see. Primal Graphenosaurus Rex question. It's not capitalized, but I'll still answer. Evangelion is huge over in Japan. Definitely. But which is more popular, the original series or the rebuild movies? I can't tell. I just want to say that Evangelion in its entirety is popular. In fact, it's so popular that people are fans of it without actually watching any Evangelion shit. In fact, a lot of people...
It's basically like you just look at the characters like, I like that character. I don't know what the hell they're from, but they look awesome.
Exactly. In fact, they didn't even... A lot of... some of my friends who are my age did not know that Kaworu, the white-haired character, only appeared for one single episode. They're like, wait, that's it? And this is when we were all like watching the series together like every week. But yeah, it's like I think the younger generation is more familiar with the movies, but the older generation, people around our age, in 30s and their 20s, they still remember the show, but they probably still support the movie because it's part of a franchise that they love. Let's see. Mazingersaurus88 says, question, what are your opinions on the 2018 Rampage film? It's campy, it's corny, it's cheesy, and I love it.
It's
I will
campy,
admit it,
it's
ever.
cheesy, and it's fucking awesome. I loved it. I
By the
loved
way,
it. It's great.
My review with Matt Danian is coming soon, but I will say, it was surprisingly violent for a PG-13 movie. I feel like it's been forever since we had something like that.
Well, I think part of it is a lot of it's implied violence instead of actually showing you violence.
Or
I
just
think
like
that's how they get around the censors.
Okay, yeah, but I feel like they were more being more edgier than what you would normally see in like a PG-13 action movie.
I don't know. I'd have to argue that like Jurassic World, which is also PG-13, is basically on the same vein of violence that you got in Rampage. With Rampage, I think a lot of it's more implied violence rather than showing you, cutaways that you got in like Jurassic World for some of their stuff.
Right,
and,
but that's the thing. They don't really cut away. They just smartly like move the camera around, but you still see the on-screen carnage. Yeah. But anyways, let's see. Are you guys still there?
I'm here.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's see. So, Primal Graphenosaurus Rex says, question, what's your thoughts on the Macross Harmony Gold controversy? If I'm correct, so for those of you who don't know, because I know you're kaiju fans, not mecha fans, back in the day, there was a TV show on American televisions called Robotech, and Robotech was actually 3 anime shows that had nothing to do with each other, that were all purchased by an American company named Harmony Gold, that they stitched together all 3 animes and pretended it was one long story taking place in a single universe. And so because of the popularity of Robotech, Harmony Gold, and because Robotech had a specific continuity, all sequels to Macross, the first anime that they used and the most popular anime, they did not allow any Macross sequels from Japan to come to America, but some still slipped through the cracks due through other companies. So now, Harmony Gold claims to have copyright over the designs of the Macross/Robotech robots, and so anyone who tries to use these designs, even if they get permission from the Japanese studios, they say, no, you can't do that because we have permission to use those designs in America. That's as far as I know with the controversy. And I know that they were trying to sue a company who made a board game, I think, a strategy board game called BattleTech, which used designs with permission from the Japanese studio from Robotech, from Macross, as well as other shows like Dugram. So it's this kind of like hot mess where Harmony Gold is trying to claim ownership of a thing that they technically didn't even create. So I just think the whole thing is just really ridiculous and stupid, and it's very astounding that Harmony Gold would still try to cling on to Robotech, even though they've barely made any sort of new merchandise outside of toys for the Robotech characters. They keep trying to make a sequel to Robotech. They made a movie in 2007, which was like made from like a Korean animation studio, which wasn't really that good, and they were trying to make a sequel to that movie because it ended on a cliffhanger, but nothing has come about it since. I'm not sure. I know, Brain, you're not into Robotech or Macross, but Denny, are you aware of this Harmony Gold controversy?
It sounds familiar. I think we've discussed it a bit, but beyond that, I think anything you've told me has been kind of the limit of my knowledge, to be honest.
Okay, then.
So that's kind of my input on that.
Let's see. Question from Jordan. Do you feel the same that I feel for the anime Godzilla films? All style, no substance? I would say no substance, barely any style.
Yeah.
I'm
trying. I don't even really. I'm in the camp that doesn't even really count them as movies, and I don't mean this to be disparaging to anime at all. I'm just saying this anime trilogy I don't really count as part of the series because they're not really movies. They're like, I count them in the same vein as the Star Wars Clone Wars movie that came out a couple of years back. Like I don't really count that as part of the theatrical Star Wars series. I mean, I don't watch that along with the other ones. I don't really think it counts. So yeah, I'm taking the same stance with these Godzilla anime films. They're crappy Flash animation with two similar characters standing around and looking at holograms for the entire film. I don't care.
I gotta say this, Brayton. I kind of agree and I kind of don't. Well, for one, to correct on Clone Wars, that was like the lead into the Clone Wars series, which is considered canon now, thanks Disney.
Sure, but I'm speaking more of the. I don't count the film, the Clone Wars.
Right, the film. No, I understand that, and I kind of agree with you on that because it's more of a tie-in to advertisement for the show that came out afterwards. Sure. That used that particular style and storytelling elements. As far as the anime goes, I don't know. I think they could have done a lot more with it, with even just the first movie. There's so much more they could have done with the concept of a monster planet, of kaiju and other stuff like this, especially with all the super tech and some other stuff that we're seeing here, which I'm kind of disappointed that we're getting a lot more, from what I hear, interesting backstory in Godzilla Monster Apocalypse, the tie-in
like
novel.
All the good stuff is everything outside the movies.
Right, which is kind of really a disappointment because you got so much cool stuff that you could put in the film to make it entertaining and engaging. I want to be engaged in these characters' plights, but I kind of am picking out a lot of the anime tropes because I watch a whole bunch of anime from each of these individual scenes and stuff. And from what I've heard, the second movie is not as engaging as it should be for a sequel, especially in a trilogy. I haven't quite seen your review of it here, Andres, but from what I've gathered through other people's reactions to it, it's kind of a very lukewarm response. And it's kind of bad for a sequel to have that because there should be a lot more excitement for that. But it does have a lot of interesting visuals and interesting things. The composition for the shots, I think, is pretty good for the most part, especially from movie one. But beyond that, it's kind of there's a lot of there's a massive exposition dump you need at the beginning of this film when you could have just set up the first movie to be the Exodus from Earth and then have the second
that shit's too interesting, Denny.
Yeah, fuck you, Toho. Shit's too interesting. You're not going to do it. Fuck you.
Unless you're someone who's like, oh, they just want to be different, and you guys don't like it because it's not what you expected it to be.
I like how on the last episode we brought up the question of would you rather have no Godzilla or mediocre Godzilla, and it's ironic that the film came out between these two episodes.
Yeah.
And now we're talking about it here.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a large camp of people.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think there's a large camp of people who just they don't care about the quality. They just want more
Godzilla.
kaiju
And
stuff.
I think that's kind of a problem, to be honest, because
Yes.
we need good movies. We don't need mediocre crap, popcorn filler crap that we've been getting for the last 10 years.
Right, we shouldn't settle for mediocrity, even if we're desperate for kaiju
We should
content.
settle for synchronicity. I can't talk. Never mind. I try to make a joke about the show. Try to fail.
It's all right. It's a thought that counts.
Okay, you're a Roth Squatch. We'll forgive you.
Hey, I still love that freaking pick you did for me there, Brayden. It's great.
Oh, you're welcome.
Let's see.
That great. That is literally me over the last 2 weeks.
Let's see, so Sean Barry says, question, what are some of your favorite Robert De Niro performances? Ooh, I can't forget Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Oh my god.
Moose and squirrel.
Are you talking to me? I could swear that you were talking to me.
Is that Robert? Yeah, it is Robert De Niro. Never mind.
Yes, that was
He
he made that movie happen. Let's see.
Can he make it unhappen?
In all seriousness,
Neil McCauley in Heat is my favorite Robert De Niro performance. It's amazing.
Ooh, I loved what was it? A Bronx Tale. Was it a Bronx Tale or a Bronx Story? I think it was a Bronx Tale. Let's see, just gonna do a quick search here.
Meanwhile, we derailed the show so Andres can Google.
Yes, A Bronx Tale. Yes, I love that movie. Let's see, and of course, Taxi Driver. Let's see. Question: what is your favorite angel from Evangelion? Mine would be Gagiel, the sea the ocean swimming one.
I haven't seen Evangelion so long, I cannot make a comment.
Okay.
I saw
Chris Angel is my favorite angel.
Charlie and his angels were the best.
Absolutely.
Oh yes.
Especially Lucy Liu. Wait a minute.
We're talking about a better show than Evangelion now. Let's move on, please.
Don't upset the fans, Brayton.
Do not steal. Do not upset fans.
Thor 2 says, question, is there any monster from mythology or folklore you'd like to see more of in mainstream pop culture?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. Chimera's used a lot. I would say probably Echidna and Typhon.
Ooh,
the mother
yes.
and monsters would be actually interesting to see.
I'll go with those two.
Although, if anyone's played God of War 4, I've seen playthroughs of it, Jormungandr is freaking gorgeous, and I'm like, that is how you do a giant freaking monster in a video game. Oh my fucking god. Love that thing. Love that design. Loved its little story it had. It was great. But I think, Echidna and Typhon would be interesting to have brought back as kind of a birthing of more monsters in the modern era. Will be kind of interesting to see.
Let's see. You, Brayton?
What was the question? I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
It's okay. Would you like to? What mythological monster would you like to see more in mainstream pop culture?
Ooh. Think. Well, it's not really a monster, but I'd like to see just to appease the My Little Pony fans out there. I'd like to see a Pegasus be
okay.
Yeah, I'm a Pegasus fan. I like the Pegasus.
Yeah,
not really a monster, but
Pegasus hasn't really been done since the Clash of the Titans and the Clash of the Titans reboot.
Yeah,
My Little Pony. So it's interesting because it's interesting to consider that a monster, but that is kind of a monster in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
It's more of a friendly monster, I guess. So it's more like it's the Minya of Greek mythology.
Yeah. I want to see more Boobo.
Now you just ruined shit on Pegasus.
Success.
Let's see. And Steve says, answer. Nice touch there. Steve says, in Super Robot Wars Japanese forums, the Transformers are considered super robots. Thank you very much, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
Let's see. Arkham, okay, he already mentioned that. Crooked says, question, is it wrong that I like Rampage more than I did Pacific Rim? Dude, I liked Rampage more than Pacific Rim Uprising.
Rampage was a better movie than Pacific Rim.
Rampage was the movie that Pacific Rim Uprising wanted to be.
But then they just decided not to be. It's like, we're going to put in minimal effort for Uprising. Meanwhile, you got the people over at Rampage going, fuck it up, dial it up to 11. We're going all town, baby.
Yeah. Let's see. Sean Barry says, question, overrated and underrated film directors in your opinion?
I want to say this. I want to say one, but I want to say it's the same. It's for different reasons.
Okay.
Spielberg is great. Early '90s Spielberg is amazing. A lot of his movies are in my childhood. They're still inspirational. They're still watchable. Later Spielberg is kind of
He seems to be more like Oscar Beatty Spielberg.
Right. I don't mind him doing deep stuff like that, but it's not as good. There's less heart in it.
It's like he wants to do Schindler's List all over again, which made me really...
Schindler's Fist. There's another one. Schindler's Fist.
Schindler's Fist. That was actually a Robot Chicken joke. Schindler's List 2.
What? No, it wasn't. It was a college humor skit about Nicolas Cage taking any single role he's offered, but will not say no to it when his agent comes to him with it, and his agent warns him, no, you're not going to want to do this. Just I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to suck. It's like, no, all right, I'll do it. It's like, God, I'll do it.
Well, he is like, what, millions of dollars in debt right now?
Oh, yeah, no, it's silly. But...
let's see. Oh, okay, so you've mentioned Spielberg and underrated?
Spielberg.
No, underrated, not over. You mentioned overrated.
Yeah. Underrated. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
The question is both.
Okay, yeah, I thought I mentioned Spielberg for overrated lately, but I thought I thought the question was favorite and then overrated. As far as underrated, I don't know, because as far as the directing goes, I don't pay as much attention to who the director is. It's kind of my own fault for not being a full-blown critic of that.
I guess that's the reason. The whole thing is like all the recent movies nowadays are kind of being done by the indie directors that Hollywood keeps handpicking, probably because they're more easier to manipulate than big-name directors.
Right, and especially if you're newer in the business, you're going to be a little bit. You're just going to kowtow to him. It's like, oh my God, I'm getting paid.
Yes.
I would actually have to say that I think maybe I'll say this. I think Gareth Edwards is a bit underappreciated.
Okay.
I think he needs more chances to develop his craft a little bit more, and I really would like to see what he was actually going to do with Rogue One as opposed to what we got. And I think some of the choices he made for 2014 Godzilla were interesting, but I think he needs more time and more experience working with a much larger crew than he's gotten, because he currently has only 3 movies under his belt: Monsters, Godzilla 2014, and Rogue One.
Yeah, I feel like that's too fast of a not uprise. That's too fast of a climb for him to go suddenly from indie
even
to.
He's admitted.
Yeah,
he's admitted he's gone from like a crew of like maybe like himself to like trying to direct like 150 people on a set. It'll overwhelm anyone. So
let's see. For me, I think maybe overrated. You see, I love the guy. I love Tim Burton as well. Tim Burton. I'm going to go for Tim Burton as overrated just for the same reasons Denny picked Spielberg, was because I feel like new Tim Burton is he's just going through the motion. I don't really see that passion behind his work anymore, save for like Big Eyes, and I think Big Eyes was a passion project for Tim Burton. But I feel like he's just, attaching himself to all these properties just because he's kind of become a Hollywood yes man now.
Gotta make that paycheck.
True, but then again, if you're selling like tons of merchandise off from Nightmare Before Christmas apparel at Hot Topic and Disney's The Haunted Mansion, I feel like at that point you can just make all the movies you want to make with Nightmare Before Christmas money alone.
Pretty much, merchandising on that film's got to be making Burton mint.
Yeah, even though he didn't direct it, but it's still his baby, technically his story.
Right.
Let's see. For underrated, ooh, that's a good question. I want to say maybe Jun Fukuda, because a lot of people pay attention to Ishiro Honda for his work on the Godzilla show, on the Showa Godzilla series, but I think Jun Fukuda did like the best he could with the movies he made, despite them just being assignments to him and him working with very limited resources as the years went on, especially into the 70s. So I feel like he did the best with what he possibly could with a franchise that he wasn't that much invested in. So I feel like he did a exceeded far more than anyone in his position probably would. But yeah, maybe those are the answers I can think of at the moment.
June fuck yes.
Yes. June Fukuda.
Fukuda.
And for you, Brayton?
Overrated. It's I've mentioned a few in the past. I don't really care for, like, any of the modern day, like, internet darling directors who just have fan bases around them are they really get on my nerves just because of the whole swell that they've inspired, like Christopher Nolan and Hideaki Anno, for example. So you can kind of take your pick there. But I don't know about underrated, but so just someone who's not brought up in the discussion as much. The director William Wyler, who directed Ben-Hur, and that's about anything. That's the only film that he's made that anybody really gives huge attention to, I guess, because everybody knows Ben-Hur, but nobody really talks about his other films, like The Big Country, which is a film that's my personal favorite that he's ever made. And he came up in the old Hollywood system, but kind of gets swept under the rug in terms of people knowing about his filmography and it really being a topic of discussion in not film criticism, but film historian circles, I feel, anyway. But no, yeah, he'd probably be up there, in my opinion.
Okay, cool. Let's see. What was it? D-Man just messaged me right now saying that one of his underrated directors was a certain individual, I believe, a Mr. Yes-No. He says that Brayton can do a good impression of Mr. Yes-No.
Yes. Hello, arachnids of YouTube. Yes, that one.
Yeah. I feel like his movies were not bad. They were intentionally bad, right?
Right. They weren't meant to be good, Andres. Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Next question. From Primal Graphenosaurus Rex. I always enjoy saying that name every time he leaves a comment. Question: What the difference with a tribute and a ripoff in a movie? Okay, so the difference between a tribute and a ripoff, I guess intention is key here.
Okay, so let's give him a good example.
Yeah.
A good example of a ripoff, not a tribute.
Atlantic Rim.
No.
Okay.
I'm thinking one better. I'm thinking of a Roger Corman film called, if you're familiar with it, Carnosaur 2.
Okay.
It is a complete ripoff off of Aliens.
Okay.
Almost beat for beat, story point for story point.
Oh, right.
Up to like the end thing with the nuclear bomb going off here. If you haven't seen it, it is kind of enjoyable for its campiness and its gore. But that itself, I think, is a ripoff. Now, a tribute would be something that makes you think of the movie as, that's influenced by that, not directly taken from it.
So it's
that's kind of
you take something and put your own spin on it while still acknowledging that the original existed.
Right, without basically ripping off an entire beat for beat, note for note, almost story beat for story beat kind of thing.
I can say the same thing about the Doug Walker's Channel Awesome movies. But as we were saying, sorry.
I think ripoffs often try to recreate things on the surface level, but tributes sort of try to capture
deeper.
The feeling of
true.
gives you rather
that's a good point, because
ripping it off wholesale.
Right, so ripping off wholesale is like Carnosaur 2 and Aliens, whereas giving mention to it or doing a tribute to it would be like all of the Godzilla series references in Godzilla 2014, or in all the references in Shin Godzilla.
Yeah.
Or Pacific Rim. There's so many references there.
Oh god, there's references and tributes without it being a complete ripoff, because people don't understand the difference between you're ripping off the scene. No, it's an homage to that scene. It's a tribute to that scene, because that entire genre is what's influencing the creation of this movie. Like where Crimson Typhoon's being raised up in when they first go to fight Otachi and Leatherback. But that's a scene kind of almost framed pretty closely to a scene from Evangelion, which again influences the movie for some of the visuals, which we all know Guillermo del Toro is a big fan of, and we're big fans of. So we can pick, that's from Evangelion. Oh, that's from this. Oh, this is from this. but they're not rip-offs so much as they're actually tributes to that, because they're not trying to rip off the entire style. They're trying to tribute the style of the scene, of the shot, without trying to make a direct copy of it, I think.
Yeah.
So I would argue
what my favorite tribute is of this year?
What?
Is ironically involving Mechagodzilla and from Ready Player One, where not even the finger missiles, which are awesome, and the spinning hands, but when the head gets blown off, and it falls off, and the camera kind of lingers on the head of Mechagodzilla that it had just been blown off. I was like, that's kind of cool. He lost his head. That's fun. I like that.
Well, you know what? I didn't even realize that they were homaging that point.
Oh yeah, like you see the H, the female character, throws a little bomb inside
Spoiler
the
alert.
blast eye. Yeah, well, I'm sorry for the movie that came out 3 months ago or something like that.
Oh Jesus, really?
But
yeah,
I think so.
Fast.
Maybe not that, but yeah. But no, yeah, you see the whole body like topple down, but then you follow the characters, and the head like falls in the foreground, and like the camera like goes like moves past it and sweeps over it. I thought that was kind of neat. I don't know.
Yeah. Let's see.
Just those little moments.
Yeah. DeMichael Jackson Helm says, question, do you think the Pacific Rim franchise is ruined because of Pacific Rim Uprising? Yes!
I want to say no.
Well, I think
because there's better stories that can be told
but I think
from before Pacific Rim took place.
But I'm thinking in terms of the story, the franchise continuing from this point onward, I'd say yes, because Pacific Rim was lucky to get a sequel, and so it's like, okay, we're going to give you one more chance to impress us, and then obviously the movie bombed, and now...
Well, see, you say that, but the people who made it, who made Uprising, aren't necessarily the same people who did Pacific Rim.
Right, but I'm saying
the
that...
The big one is Guillermo del Toro not being there is mostly because I think why it failed.
Yeah.
At least I would say that.
And I think it's like kind of like a similar situation to like The Hobbit, where it's like it took forever because they didn't want to do his vision, and so after he left the project, then things started quickly getting into production. It's like, oh great, now he's gone. Now we can start doing what we want to do.
Right. I don't know. I like Pacific Rim for what it is. It's giant robots versus giant monsters. I go in the theater, I put in the DVD. That's what I expect. That's what I get, and I get a little bit more out of it, which is great. But as far as it getting like another sequel, I will agree. I don't think that we'll get a sequel to this. I honestly would have liked to see a prequel, because there were so many characters that were interesting from the first one that we don't get any development out of, and it's like, I want to see Cherno Alpha beat shit up. That's what I want to see.
Oh yeah, I want to see like Coyote Tango, since we barely saw him in the first movie.
Fuck, yes, it's like my favorite mech that only has like a 10-second cameo in the entire damn thing, because he's got the giant freaking shoulder cannons, and that's what I like.
And he's got the face. And he's got the face of Jim from Gundam.
He does. Wait, does he?
He has the window face.
Yeah, it does have the window face, you're right.
But let's see. I don't really see it continuing from this point forward, just because, it failed for Warner Brothers. It didn't make a lot of money for Warner Brothers, and it didn't make a lot of less money for Universal. So it's like, unless they pass it off to someone who wants to make a small-scale movie, maybe an animated movie, like a direct-to-video animated thing, or for Netflix, that's the only way I can see it continuing from this point onward.
Yeah, and honestly, I would rather they just kind of scrap anything after Pacific Rim, like scrap Uprising as a concept, as any part of the continuity, and just do something different.
Yeah. Because
you had so much potential there, and Pacific Rim works as this kind of good old, end of the entire Kaiju War epic saga thing. I thought was good. It was wrapped up really nicely, I think. And then so many more stories so many war stories, you could actually show the effects of the war. Of the Kaiju War, which I think is vastly more interesting than this freaking, I'm Pentecost's son. When there's no mention of a son anywhere in any of the material up to this point. He
already has a child in the form of Mako Mori. Just make a movie on her.
Oh God, yes. Make a movie on her. She became a Jaeger pilot, finally. And also the setting for Uprising doesn't make any goddamn sense. 10 years after the breach is sealed, we still have freaking Jaegers walking around, and they're still making new ones? Why? The breach is closed. Everything says it's closed. We don't need this shit anymore. Why do we have it? I don't know. I'd rant on that for a while. I think
Yes.
Yes.
Godzilla King of Kaiju says, question, Andres, Brayden, and Danny, what any
I don't know
Godzilla...
who Danny is.
I don't
I'm
know.
Danny,
I don't know who Danny
Oh,
is.
hi, Danny.
Oh, hi, Dan. Oh, hi.
We know Denny, but we don't know Danny. Let's see. What any Godzilla monster suit would you wear? Well, you can't wear a Mothra suit because none exist. She's a puppet.
You can use the puppet though. That's a kicker. You can use the puppet. You can animate the puppet.
You can animatrate it.
You can animatrate the puppet.
You can. Let's see.
I've animatrated many I've animatrated too many puppets.
I've
The
got,
Wayne
so
family.
I got the right amount of.
Well, Sarah.
I got the right amount of edumacation to animatrate my puppets.
God, that sounds even worse than the. Never mind.
But let's see, Godzilla suit. I realize now that I am I feel like I'm too big to wear the Final War suit because it's shockingly very small in person. When you see it in person, like if Denny were to wear it, it would burst apart.
I know. It's like Hulk out. Godzilla inner Hulk.
He's evolving into a Bigfoot.
Okay. On that note here, let's say for case of argument that you could fit into any Godzilla suit you wanted, or any monster suit. I guess I guess it could be either Godzilla or any other suit. So
I would probably be my favorite suit, which was the 2003 design.
I'd have to say Hesai because that's my favorite. That's my favorite setting of the entire series.
Oh, okay, cool. And for you, Brayden?
Okay, now let's be real here. I don't. Do you have to take into account how much of a fucking hell that would be to be stuffed inside of a giant
And
rubber
considering
suit?
you're such a thin little weak boy, yes, you wouldn't be able to take.
I've lost a lot of weight. I'm 150 pounds now. I can't do that shit. I'd be trapped inside. I'm claustrophobic. I'm scared.
In that case,
Again, for sake of argument, if you could, which would it be?
Okay.
For sake of argument. Realistically, it doesn't fucking matter because we're never going to get the chance.
I know.
Andres has a better chance than we do.
I would wear a Gorgo suit. There you
There
go.
we go.
there we
With
go.
the big
There
old
you go.
boxing gloves.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
There you-
There you go.
There
There
you go. There you
Let's
go.
see. Sean Berry says, question, favorite Bernard Herrmann score? Ooh, I know, the name is familiar, but I don't know him.
Oh, yes, he's the composer of 90% of Hitchcock's films and Jason and the Argonauts.
God.
Yes, my favorite film score he's done is North by Northwest. Another one is, I don't really care for the movie, but the score for Vertigo is amazing.
I think so, yeah.
And he also composed my favorite episode of The Twilight Zone. He did a lot of episodes, but the Walking Distance score is also awesome. I'm a huge Bernard Herrmann fan. Oh, he also did Taxi Driver too.
Yeah, I'm looking at that on YouTube not YouTube, on Google right now.
Yeah. It's a very
Google
different
it.
saxophone-heavy score. That one.
Let's see. Crooked Lore, I'll go with your default to your answers. Crooked Lore says, question, favorite fantasy-based anime?
Ooh.
I want to say Escaflowne, but I haven't seen enough of Escaflowne, but I like what I've seen so far.
I'd have to say there are a couple different ones. So a lot of my anime tends to lean more towards sci-fi.
I was gonna say Dragon Ball, but then again, it's fantasy, but it leans more towards sci-fi. It's like both.
It leans more towards sci-fi in part of the seasons, but it still has a really fantasy side. I have to say my favorite might be the one I started with, which wasn't the anime. It was the manga Magic Knight Ray Earth. That's what really got me really heavily into manga. Although for an anime series, I'll have to say I want to butcher the pronunciation. Konosuba is really hilarious. I love it.
Let's see. What is it? I know that Miyazaki, revels in fantasy. So I want to say Princess Mononoke is definitely one of them. Let's see, Spirited Away. Let's see.
Godzilla City on the Edge of Battle.
Aww.
No, Godzilla City on the Edge of Battle is the most disappointing movie to come out of Toho since Godzilla Final.
The last one. I feel like all of the last Godzilla Toho movies are the most disappointing one to come out since the last Toho Godzilla film. So, whatever.
So it's just perpetual motion of disappointment.
But you're not true fans because you're not appreciating the Godzilla movies. You should
Like,
be
No
Mr.
true Scotsman fallacy. I want to stop that in the bud right here. No true Scotsman
you should be grateful that we're getting new Godzilla movies. You fans just
I'll be
can't
grateful when they're
appreciate
fucking
anything.
good. All right? I'll be grateful when they're fucking good.
Let's see. Primal Graphenosaurus Rex says, question, thoughts on the Jurassic Park books? I read the first one, and yesterday I recently got the audiobook for the first book, and I love it.
Okay, I'll show my geek pride here, as I have read both Jurassic Park and Lost World multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
I love them. It's weird because Lost World is the first time that Crichton was ever pressured into making a sequel due to the success of Jurassic Park.
Mm-hmm.
And it definitely has a much different take, and it does give a different story than was given in Jurassic Park to try and make that kind of claim. And plus, it also does a different message. Instead of like life finds a way, or life cannot be contained in the first Jurassic Park, or specifically chaos theory, the second book deals less with that and kind of goes into more of a weird comparison between God, what's a good way of putting it? Because the main story centers around prions and like mad cow disease affecting the dinosaurs on the island. That basically means that, I think it kind of gives the impression that the creatures that have been extinct are doomed to extinction and they cannot be brought back, kind of vibe, which is a little bit different considering the first movie itself and the first book. But it's still a pretty good read, and it's kind of why he brought back Ian Malcolm for that one. Whereas Ian Malcolm died in the first book. Spoiler for a book that's, almost 30 years old.
Yeah. Okay.
Ian Malcolm died?
I can only wish.
Technically, the second book retconned that, so no, he did not die, Brayden. It's okay. Yeah. It's okay. in book canon, he is not dead.
All right.
Let's see.
Did they ever make? I guess. If they did, Michael Crichton didn't write it. A Jurassic Park 3 novelization or book.
They had young adults.
I own the novelization of the movie Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah, because since there was no novel, but there was also a lot of other books that came out about the kids' adventures on the island after he got stranded, which are like young adult fare and some other stuff when after Grant and his parents ended up on there. I've never read any of those. I just watched the movie.
Let's see. So we are way behind on the questions. So let's see if we can speed things along. In fact, like at the top of the hour, we'll cut off the questions and read what's left. Okay, everybody. So let's see. A question: Super Mechagodzilla and Burning Godzilla versus all Ava units. Who wins? If you know the answer,
yes.
If you know the rules for this live stream, yes. Next
question.
Always.
Yeah, always and forever.
Primal Graphenosaurus
and if you listen to our theme song tonight, too, we plainly stated that in there.
Yeah. Let's see. Primal Graphenosaurus Rex says, question, thoughts on Avengers 3? I liked it.
It was good.
Let's see. A question. Do you think Solo Hedorah film could work? Sure.
Wait, Hedorah film?
A solo, a movie just featuring Hedorah, nothing else. And we do have a movie. It's called The Blob.
Yeah, it's called The Blob. It's also called Godzilla, just dealing with pollution instead of, atomic radiation.
Yeah.
But
let's see. Amanda says, question, Ebra versus Ganymedes, which is better crustacean-themed giant monster from both design and personality? So it's not a fight question, it's a which one is better. And design-wise, I like Ebra because they knew the limitations of trying to portray a crustaceous body through a man in suit, so they were much smarter in that case. And I like the design better. The personality is more menacing, in my opinion, especially when early on they showed him turning like a couple of infant islanders into a human shish kebab. So I'd say Ebra is a much better monster.
I don't know the other one to say, honestly,
from Space Amoeba.
I haven't seen that yet, still.
Okay.
It is on my list of things to get eventually.
Okay, let's see. Konga says, what would your opinion be on a crossover with Godzilla and Gundam if it could happen? My opinion on such a crossover would be the greatest thing in existence for me personally.
Yes.
Always
and forever.
Let's see. Question: what's Danny's thoughts on the Jurassic Park franchise? I don't know who Danny is, so.
Hey, Danny, what are your thoughts?
Well, I don't know Braytone.
Oh no, hold on. It's got to be
Braytone.
silent. There's got to be silence because no one's named Danny here.
Oh, I don't know Braytone. I don't know about you, Andros. But
Andre.
Andros.
Andre the Giant.
I'll try to
I think I
explain
like
to you, I have a lot of
Jurassic
questions
Park,
to
but
go
it could use a bit more peanuts.
Peanuts. So I'll make this quick. The Jurassic Park franchise, for what it did for popular culture representation of dinosaurs, is without question the biggest leap in popular culture understanding of dinosaurs. Whereas the scientific community's understanding of dinosaurs being warm-blooded, highly active animals is 10 years ahead of the pop culture portrayal of them, Jurassic Park helps speed that up with the way dinosaurs are portrayed. I honestly am kind of disappointed that that Jurassic Park, Jurassic World didn't continue this trend, because we still had, the very leathery skin scaled versions of Velociraptors and of course the Tyrannosaurus. They didn't update the models to update with science. And they tried to explain that away with a throwaway line by Henry Wu, the main geneticist, which I think was a disservice, because you have to understand the effect that Jurassic Park had on pop culture to spearhead highly active dinosaurs into the pop culture of the world. Jurassic World would have been that next stepping stone where we have more feathered dinosaurs. We have more other various traits about them, accurate sounds, accurate things. I understand why they did it. I'm just disappointed that they didn't go through with it, which would have made, I think, would have been another dinosaur renaissance in pop culture.
Okay. Let's see. Who knows? Maybe at the end of Jurassic World? No, I was going to say Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, but I doubt this would happen, where they open the park again and they make a new batch of dinosaurs that are like the next generation of dinosaurs that are now closer to what they made before. No. It's like, oh, here's our old T-Rex from like 20 years ago, but here's our new T-Rex with feathers. But no, that's not going to happen.
No.
I think you misunderstood.
You misunderstood. All right.
Godzilla King of Kaiju said, question, Andreas, Kiryu and Gigan versus Gundam, who wins? And Kevin already answered for us. Yes.
Yes.
Crooked says, question, Denny, I must know, ... After working with me for this long, I have to know. Am I an asshole? I need to know to improve myself, Denny!
I'm going to quote, God, who is it? The comedian. You're an asshole, an asshole, an asshole. You're an asshole, an asshole, an asshole. You drive in handicapped space. You park in handicapped spaces while handicapped people are making handicapped faces. In all seriousness, you're not an asshole, Crooked. You're definitely not the worst client I've ever had. I have a horror story about that, but now is not the time.
Let's see. What was it that you said, Brayton?
You locked me in a closet. Stay tuned.
Well, the closet's where you belong.
Oh, snap.
Oh, damn.
Oh, snap. Rock Squatch burn.
I don't know how to respond.
Rock Squatch burn.
Let's see. So, like, Kairos Draws Tamir says, I think this is aimed at Denny. Were you high? Rampage physically showed people getting eaten, squashed, and killed on screen. It was like an edgy remake of the game.
And my response to that is rewatch Jurassic Park, The Lost World, and Jurassic Park 3.
But then keep in mind
my response.
Keep in mind the Jurassic Park trilogy was pretty old at this point, and since then we haven't had any movies in recent years that have approached that, like, the edge of R-rated violence.
There are some that came close. I know, but I haven't. But the fact that where people are getting mauled and eaten. Okay, Robert Gennaro gets visibly chomped on, shaken around by the T-Rex. We've got
again, that was from like 30 years ago. 30
years ago, but it's still kind of graphic for the time.
Yes, it is. I'm just saying, like,
Lost World, we have someone who's getting swarmed with compies. We have raptors jumping on people, tearing people apart.
Almost 20 years ago.
Again, this is the difference. So 20 years ago, it's still kind of, compared to Rampage, is tamer, but still has stuff like that in here. And the thing is, for Rampage being a PG-13 movie as it was, the violence wasn't as over the top to get that R rating, I believe, because they did want to tone it. They did want to keep it toned down for a PG-13 rating. Which honestly, I don't think the violence, especially in the amount of movies that I watch, is nothing that surprising, to be honest.
Okay.
So I don't think it may show some of those features and may imply some of those features, but it's not it doesn't go as far as that, because I can look at Jurassic World and point out exactly similar things that were shot in a similar way and cut away in a similar fashion, but no one's bitching about that unless you're bitching about a couple of certain things, which again, I can ramble on. Compared to Rampage, it's turning into what's currently our PG-13 fare.
Let's see. So, question: what is the most powerful mech in the Godzilla franchise? Probably Jet Jaguar. If used like he did in Rulers of Earth, where he like goes into Orga's body and then grows from the inside and bursts him apart. He's easily the most overpowered character if used in that fashion.
Right. If you want to kill people like that. I could see Jet Jaguar as that. I also think probably the most powerful one would be.
But in the movie verse, Andres, he gets his ass pretty much handed to him by fucking
the Megalon.
The bulk and skull of the Godzilla universe is Megalon and Gigan. I mean, he doesn't. Yeah.
Not even the theme song can save him. Though honestly, I'd have to say probably Super Mechagodzilla 2, probably the most powerful.
Okay, I can see that
in the franchise.
He actually was close. He was pretty much killed Godzilla. If it weren't for him getting saved by Rodan. Let's see. Next question. Have you heard of the disappointing box office opening for Solo, a Star Wars movie? A Star Wars story? No, I have not heard the box office performance.
I haven't either. I haven't gone to watch it. I still have to see Deadpool 2.
Yeah. Let's see. Have you ever seen any clip of the weird low-budget show Ike Godman or Ike Greenman or Ike Godman or Ike Greenman? I've seen some clips of it. I've seen that one where I think it was Green Man versus some shitty, ragged-looking version of the Gorosaurus, Gabra, and Minya suits. It's not really my cup of tea. It's really good for if you want to watch something stupid and laugh at it, sure. But it cannot beat Red Man, I think, in terms of its ludicrousy, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, just low-budget affairs just really aren't my thing. Like super, super low-budget stuff like this. I know Jeff Zordow's like crazy huge into Green Man and God-Man, but yeah, not for me. Let's see. You guys ever know what this guy's talking about?
Not a clue.
Okay.
Is this the same as I know? Is the English title "Go Green Man"? Is that the same thing? I think we're talking about the same thing.
Ike means go.
Yeah, I've only seen clips. I think they played it at G-Fest maybe last year. I think on the TV in the hotel. I saw the one with the King Kong suit. I believe the King Kong escape suit was in an episode.
You're right. Yeah, they did. Let's see.
I know they repurposed Gabra for the show too. I think.
Right. Let's see. Manda says, question, do you think the anime Godzilla trilogy is this generation's Rebirth of Mothra trilogy? I'd probably say so. Maybe.
Oh, that's a good question.
That's a deep cut though.
I made comparisons in my own review comparing the second movie to Rebirth of Mothra 2.
But do you think the third one will be okay?
No. Because like I said to quote from my own review, Rebirth of Mothra 3 still works as its own like standalone Mothra story. Meanwhile, Godzilla Planet Eater has to wrap up this whole boring saga. Let's see. And will continue to carry on all the issues from the first two movies with the boring characters and the not so impressive animation. Let's see. Any of this? Yeah.
We do have a suggestion just to skip all the versus questions.
Right.
Because...
Yeah. And luckily enough...
Raph and Shoma has messaged me on 3 different platforms.
Yes. Yes, Raph, we get it.
Also, but yeah, luckily our fans are already like answering for us. One person says, apparently the Godzilla anime is just to keep interested in Godzilla because we have to keep waiting for Legendary. Well, no shit. I mean, that they made this anime to capitalize on the popularity of Godzilla, and they want to make money on Godzilla. And they made this anime as a loophole to avoid, because they're not allowed to make live action movies. So yeah, no shit, this is meant to. I'm sorry to say this, but yeah, it's pretty obvious. That
Toho
this
will
is,
keep making money.
yeah, for Toho to make money. It's a it's tie-in. They're cashing in on the success. And D-Man says, you still like Planet of the Monsters? Good for you, man. I genuinely mean that. Let's see. No offense or anything, Andres. I love you. Thank you very much. But I refuse to listen to your review of City on the Edge of Battle until I see it for myself. I still want to go in fresh. It's okay. I understand, man. And I've already told you the main spoiler, which I consider it not to be a spoiler, but to prepare you for what's ahead, for what's not ahead. So I understand you, dude. Let's see. Let's see. I'm looking for a question. What are your thoughts on the SH Monster Arts line? It's good. It's expensive as fuck, so I don't buy. I only have like two figures, and that's it. I might buy Gamera, but Steve informed me that like the Gamera 3 toy is like way out of scale with the other toys for whatever reason, so maybe I might skip on that.
Yeah, I'd like them to do some more of them, but I also know they won't do a lot of the other monsters I want to see. But for quality-wise, the SH Monster Arts is pretty good.
Although
I have a problem with my Hesai one that the head keeps popping off.
Yeah, NECA is really the go-to for me, only because it's much more affordable. And I you know what? I really want figure arts, not monster arts. Maybe they'll do it as a monster arts, but I really want a Jet Jaguar figure. But I know that's never gonna happen. Let's see.
Hey, I can give you my old Bandai vinyl Jet Jaguar figure if you want that.
Well, that'd be cool. Let's see. Question: how would you feel if Toho made a sequel to War of the Gargantuas in the style of the recent Planet of the Apes series? I don't know what you mean by that. As in the style?
I know what he means, like the storytelling style, like in the fact that, the new ones, how they redo the origins of the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes kind of thing.
Where they're like mutated, and like they're intelligent.
Where they're
apes?
genetically modified apes. Yeah, kind of like that. I think that's where he's going with that question. At least that's where I think he's going with it. Be interesting, I think.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they can't.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Yeah, because like the movie is already so far removed from Frankenstein that most people aren't even aware that War of the Gargantuas is connected to Frankenstein.
Where's the world?
I don't know. I just don't want. Did he ask if Toho were to remake it, or if just anybody were to remake it? Because if
Toho made it.
Oh, absolutely not then. Because they're barely even a movie studio anymore, and I don't want them screwing up their own classics.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Question from the Zingersaurus. Since Toho has mentioned about doing a Godzilla cinematic universe, what kaiju would you love to see in a solo film of their own?
Nothing I'm thinking of that I want to see. Do I want to see in a solo film?
I'd love to see a movie in space focusing on Ghidorah harassing other planets, but I know Toho does not have the budget nor the ambition to do it.
Just leaving bags of shit at aliens' doorsteps.
A history of Ghidorah would be interesting now that you mention that. That would be actually kind of fascinating.
Or a history of Gigan also.
Oh, Gigan, because have you guys seen on Facebook like some artist? I don't know his name. He's been posting like the 3 different versions of Gigan, like an organic, the cyborg from the Showa, and then the Final Wars version as like a transition. That's freaking cool as shit.
Yes, it is. Yeah, always. Let's see. You guys?
I'm trying to think of who I'd actually want to see in a solo movie besides the big names we have had already, like Godzilla, Mothra, Rodan. Anyone else I'm thinking of kind of needs another monster in there to be an antagonist against. Mm-hmm. Like, I would like to see Zilla come back. I mean, I want to get hate from everyone else in the comments, but I like Zilla.
Okay.
I like Zilla as a design. I think he has an interesting power set. I think he doesn't get nearly as much appreciation as he does because he's just shat on all the time. I think Godzilla Jr., if for some reason we could get the rights to actually have Zilla be more like Zilla Jr., I think people would actually appreciate him more. But but to have him in his own movie again, there's not much to work with, I'll admit, unless there's another monster for him to fight against.
Yeah.
Or to be paired off against. Although, I saw this floating around on a message board forums. I'd like to see another Mothra movie, but would have Gabra in it from Godzilla's Revenge as kind of an actual dream Oni that terrorizes children. And of course, Mothra saves children.
Okay.
But that would be kind of cool. But that's also not a solo movie, so it kind of just doesn't answer the question.
Oh, you know, Gabra would make a great Gamera villain. That'd be kind of interesting.
That would be interesting to see.
Well, you know what? Imagine if they were to use like reuse old concepts like Mothra versus Bagon.
Vegan.
Yeah,
I don't think
Mothra-
we're ever getting Bagan.
No, we're not. It'll just replace him with some other generic monster. Which, let's be
Because
honest, Bagon is a generic monster.
Bagon is like the Broly.
He's a cool drawing, though, Andre.
No.
He's big, he's strong, and he's scary, like every other monster we've seen before.
I got a better comparison. Bagan is the Broly of the Godzilla, of the Godzilla series.
Gojira!
Bagon! Super Gojira level 3. Now I just imagine Super Godzilla with like Super Saiyan hair.
Yeah. Actually, there was an image, like someone drew like this chibi image of Godzilla powering up into burning Godzilla with the yellow Super Saiyan aura around him, with like Destroyer going, "What the fuck?"
What the fuck?
Let's see. So, question: how do you like the Godzilla cinematic universe to be done? Using CGI, pseudomation, animatronics, or a mixture of all? Theoretically, I would like to see a mixture of all, but Toho is shit with CG, so I'm gonna go with pseudomation and animatronics.
I don't know. I think their work on Shin Godzilla showed they can do pretty damn good with CGI. Although there are parts that are pretty.
They had to outsource to multiple
Did
studios. Yes, they outsourced
Okay.
to multiple studios. That's why the CGI quality is so all over the place. And technically, yeah. So technically, that's not like Brayton said, Toho's not a movie studio anymore. They they can't.
They're more a
do CG.
production studio than an actual.
They've torn
Yeah,
down
they're
all
more-
the old stages where they filmed the original movies. They've torn down the big pool. They work on television and hotels and movie theaters. They're
And
not even a real
They're-
movie
they're,
studio
They're a
anymore.
distribution company now.
Yeah.
In fact,
So-
the idea of Toho Animation, that whole logo, is a joke because that's not their animation. That's Polygon Pictures animation.
Mm-hmm. Although, to answer the question, if this Godzilla cinematic universe thing they're trying to do together was done, I'd have to agree with Andres. I'd like to see a mixture of both. I'd like to see the Suitmation come back as a viable thing, but which it probably isn't because I think it's getting outsourced for motion capture, which is the evolution of Suitmation, I think. So a bit more composite shots, a bit more CGI overlays. I think they could do it with both and get some actual up close puppets and some stuff in there would be kind of cool to see for some scenes. But I actually don't. Actually, I doubt this cinematic universe is going to go forward. I honestly don't think it will be.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be damn surprised if it does.
We'll have to wait and see, like I always say. Question, is it wrong that I like Deadpool 2 more than Infinity Wars, which I loved? No, it's not wrong. It's not wrong. Feel free with however you feel when it comes to your taste in movies. Unless they're different from mine. No, just kidding. Let's see. Next question. What are some of the scariest performances in non-horror movies? Everything involving
Adam Noyce and Which Way They Walk.
Damn it! You stole it. I was gonna be more
Horrifying.
subtle about that.
Terrifying makeup. Congratulations on their part, though.
Yeah. Let's see. Question. Well, a bit of a follow-up to my last question. Would you prefer the CGI to be done by Toho like Shin Godzilla? No. Or would you prefer them to outsource the CG to a foreign company? Depends on which country.
Depends on which country. Depends on how much.
I'd like to see the CG I'd like to see them use the CG to enhance the suitmation. I'd like to see, them to be able to get more facial expressions or something using CG, but not do an entire fucking creature in CG. They don't do it well. I'm sorry. They can try to outsource it, but it just doesn't work. It looks goofy.
Let's see.
But I think using CG to enhance their practical effects would be the way to go, in my opinion. I don't know.
Let's see. Question. What are your thoughts on Andy Serkis's upcoming Mowgli film? I don't know, and to be honest, I don't really care. I didn't even
care.
I didn't even see the first Jungle Book movie from this year or last
The
year.
first Jungle Book movie is pretty good. It's
I
got
heard it was good.
walking as a giant monkey.
I don't care because, goddamn it, Disney, stop doing live action adaptations of established animated films.
But this Mowgli movie isn't Disney because the Jungle Book is.
I know the Jungle Book's in
Public domain.
But
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah. Let's see. Question. Thoughts on Dino Riders? Never watched it.
Awesome, freaking awesome.
Thoughts on
X-Men-
Yeah.
I actually met the voice actor for the main star of Dinosaurs. It's Quasar was his name. The voice actor is Dan Gilsey, and he also did the Generation 1 voice of Bumblebee.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, really cool guy.
Yeah, so yeah, thoughts on Dino Riders and Dino Saucers? I haven't seen either, but they look cool.
Dinosaurs does look kind of awesome. Haven't actually found an episode, but looks kind of awesome.
Let's see. Question: what do you guys want the team who made Godzilla Final Wars to make the third Godzilla anime? No, because they're not animation people. You can't expect like not Spielberg. You can't. Well, even Spielberg, he only produced the movies that he was a part of, the animated movies he was a part of. He didn't direct,
or even the animated shows he was producing. He just produced those.
He only produced. He only threw money at them. He didn't actually make Animaniacs or Freakazoid or Pinky and the Brain or an American or Tiny Toons or an American Tail an American Tail or Land Before Time. He didn't make any of that.
Yeah, because Don Bluth made American Tail and
Land Before Time.
Land Before Time.
Yeah. Let's see. Question: Andres, what classic film noirs are you interested in seeing that you've never seen before? Chances are someone can get them. Oh, I get you. Let's see. I've been meaning to see Chinatown for a while. I have it on DVD, but I currently don't have it with me. But yeah, I'd like to see Chinatown. Anything else? I can't really think of any at the moment because I'm still focusing on all these questions here. Thank you for the question, Sean. Question: are you worried about the box office for Godzilla King of the Monsters since it's coming out the same month as Avengers 4, Detective Pikachu, John Wick 3, and live-action Aladdin movie? A bit.
I don't think so, because I think we're going to see, like we see with every week, there's going to be a shift in the box office return. We've seen this with a couple other blockbusters in the past, where one week one movie is going to be like the number one box office movie for the week, and then the next week the other one comes out, which has a lot of anticipation for it, and that's going to become the new standard. And the one after that's going to be the same, because I think we're going to see the same thing we've seen in a lot of other movie theater productions.
The number one movie in America that they'll advertise,
which is then going to be supplanted by the next number one movie in America.
Right.
Should we cut off asking questions here? Just for the sake of time?
I did tell people we were going to cut off questions at the top of the hour, but I forgot to mention that, so we'll do that.
Yeah. No, you did mention that we're cutting them off at the end of the hour. You've been cut off, people.
Question: has your top 15 giant robots changed looking back? No. Question: have any of you ever played the arcade game Primal Rage? Yes.
Yes.
The guy who let's see. No. Let's see. Question. Ghidorah, no, that's a versus question. Question: when can we expect Grand Epic? Yes, starring Always. I think you just answered your question there. Always.
No. The correct answer is soon. Trademark.
Let's see. Question: how does the Pacific Rim monsters get their names? I understand Knifehead, but why Leatherback, Otachi, and Mutivore?
They if I remember correctly, because I think I have an answer for this, there was an individual at Jaeger Command that gave established names to them based on sonar readings and other stuff that they were able to get. Leatherback obviously is kind of like, hulked over, kind of like a silverback gorilla, but more like a leatherback turtle. So I think they gave him the name Leatherback for that. Knifehead, obviously. Raijin and Scunner, a little bit more nebulous here. Of course, Slattern is the more famous name here. But they have a guy who actually just gave out names.
Karloff, because of the Frankenstein head.
Karloff, because it looked like Boris Karloff. Mutivore, they have a guy that basically names the things, if I remember correctly, and it was the one guy, one of the people in the actual Ranger headquarters, in the main base.
Let's see. Question: what are your thoughts on the cancellation of Shin Godzilla 2? Toho's announced World of Godzilla Cinematic Universe. They never confirmed Shin Godzilla 2, so...
They never did.
They never did. They never said it was happening. It was only just a bunch of people who were not really connected to Toho, just a bunch of actors and directors saying, oh, it'd be cool if we did that. Oh, I'd be down for that if it were to happen. Oh, maybe. Who knows? It's Toho's decision.
If Toho says, yes, I'm on board, basically.
It's just a lot, basically, it's just a lot of maybes and who knows. No one ever said, yes, it's happening. Toho just said, it's better to do a cinematic universe than to do a direct sequel to Shin 2. Does it mean Shin 2 will happen or not happen? I guess it doesn't directly state that it's not going to happen, but I'd say chances are it's not going to happen.
I honestly prefer that
Celebrate good times.
Come on,
on.
celebrate.
I'd honestly prefer if it didn't happen because I think Shin works as its own movie.
True.
Because I think it ended okay.
Yeah.
For the movie and the setting here, so I think that's a good place to end it. Does it leave the world open for new interpretations of stuff that could happen? Yes, but honestly, I think it would be better to just leave it as its own solo film.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we could honestly
leave
bring
it
back
alone.
the design.
Don't ever talk about it again. Don't ever go and look at it again.
In case you haven't noticed, audience, Brayden is the only one here who doesn't like the movie.
It's a member of the family you have to invite over for a reunion, but you don't really like, so you kind of sit at a different table from.
He's usually drunk, if not high.
Question:
Shooting purple lasers out of his ass and whatnot.
Out of his tail, Brayden.
I'm sorry, that's right. And out of his back. He's a light show fan.
Let's see. Question: how do you feel about the Gundam fight with Mechagodzilla in Ready Player One? It was amazing. How do you feel that Ultraman was replaced by that scene in the book? It sucks, but hey, at least that means Gundam gets a spotlight, so yay for me.
Hell yeah, Gundam.
And I'm glad that the
would have
fight
been cool
wasn't...
if they had Jet Jaguar there instead, though.
That would be.
Or Japanese Spider-Man, like in the book. Let's see. Question: what monster Godzilla movie do you think it's good but everyone else hates? Godzilla vs. the Sea Monster. Let's see. You guys?
I'd have to argue Godzilla's Revenge. I don't think it's as bad as everyone says it is.
Okay. But do you think it's good?
Do I think it's good?
Yes. That's the question.
If you were 5.
It's good for the
demographic, is what I think.
Yeah. Minus the really shady ending moral of hey,
beat the shit out of the kids.
You can stand up for yourself, but then join your bullies.
Hey, here's the thing. Ironically, that's kind of what they expect you to do in America. It's like if you have a bully, stand up to them, and then they won't pick on you because then they'll know that you're not afraid. I'm like, yeah, so basically keep perpetually in this cycle of violence and just beat the shit out of each other. Got it.
Hate and violence the only way to stop violence and hate is with more violence.
More violence and more hate. This is America.
Yeah. Because that always works. Especially if you watch the Gundam franchise, you know that violence always solves violence.
Violence solves every problem.
And that's why the Universal Century is in a constant state of war. Anyways,
I blame Zeons.
Hey man,
punch Zeons.
There's oh, god damn it!
Just go punch Zeons.
Even if you punch the Zeons, they will only come back as like the some more stuff, like what's that? The Crossbone Vanguard or whatever. Let's see, or the Moonrace. Let's see, anything else? Question, Brayden, with you being big on voice acting, what is some of the best narration in film in your opinion?
Martin Sheen in Apocalypse Now.
Okay,
I love it. Actually, I take that back. It isn't Martin Sheen who's doing the narration in Apocalypse Now. It's actually his brother, Joe Estevez, who you may remember from the amazing Mystery Science Theater episodes Werewolf and Soul Taker. Martin. Yes, Martin Sheen suffered. I think he had suffered his heart attack, and they couldn't bring him in for the voiceover. So, like almost all the narration in Apocalypse Now is by Joe Estevez and not Martin Sheen.
Get out of here, Joe.
His twin brother. Yeah.
Let's see, Kaiju Noir with what other super robot would you like to see have the Mazinger Z Infinity treatment? Definitely Getter-Robo, and specifically an adaptation of the new Getter-Robo manga, Getter-Robo De-Evolution, which is being written by the same people who wrote the Ultraman manga. Let's see, next, Primal Graphenosaurus Rex. Oh wait, let's see, I think I lost my place. Where is it? So great, more question. That's beautiful. Oh, okay. Here we go.
You wanted this, Andres.
I did. What's a sequel that's not as bad as everyone says? I bet you if I were to say The Last Jedi, that's going to cause a huge argument.
You're alienating the rest of our audience who don't like Thundercats.
You're on the wrong side of history, Kaiju Noir. Let's see.
I don't think you guys have much of an audience, to be honest.
That's true. But the audience that we do have, we appreciate greatly.
Yes.
Let's see.
Jaws 2 is a sequel that I think is not. It's the least bad Jaws sequel, which isn't saying much.
But it's the
I think
least
super
funny
good.
Jaws sequel.
I know.
I still like the Dark Knight Rises. Let's see. Sequel, bad sequel. Son of Kong is good. Bad sequels.
Free Willy 2 is okay. Remember Free Willy 2?
I remember Free Willy 2.
I own Free Willy 2 and 3, but I don't remember anything from them.
That's about how bad they are.
Halloween Town 2 is also very good. If you remember
I remember
wonderful
watching
Halloween
it, but I
Town
don't remember.
franchise.
I remember Halloween Town High.
Oh god.
I'd have to say, like, because I haven't seen the movie, I've seen reviews of it. I'd have to say I think Halloween 3, The Witching Season, isn't really as bad as everyone thinks it is, just because it doesn't have Michael Myers.
Right. Oh yeah. That's a good movie. Let's see. Next question: what is a Marvel comic you would like to see get made into a movie? Which one hasn't been made into a movie?
No. I got perfect one for our fans here.
Devil Dinosaur.
Moon Boy and Devil Dinosaur. Yes. Yeah.
I can't say if Moon Girl and Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. I think that's getting a TV series. I don't know how the fuck they're gonna do that on a TV budget, but I bet you they're not even gonna have Devil Dinosaur in it for that long. But
they're going to do what they did with Lucy in Runaways. Very small shots, but it's going to be hard to do with the freaking T-Rex.
Right. Let's see. Yeah, and I'm interested in reading Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. I don't know if it's a good comic or not, but I just think the idea of a little girl with a T-Rex is kind of adorable.
Just a wee bit.
Kind of like Totoro and the movie My Neighbor Totoro, except if Totoro was a big, giant, cool, badass T-Rex. Let's see. Question: what are your thoughts on the original monsters for the game Godzilla Trading Battle? They're fine. Let's see. Question: Gigan? No. But yes, as Kevin says. Question on thoughts on Gurren Lagann, the greatest anime ever.
Maybe not the greatest, but it is really damn good.
After G Gundam.
After G Gundam, yes. Okay, I'm fine with that.
It's my second favorite anime after G Gundam.
Wait, so you mean we need a bigger drill? That pretty much sums up the entire freaking series. And I'm like, that's wrong,
it's not the drill; it's what the drill represents, Denny.
Don't start going all symbolism on me here. They just need a bigger drill.
Which means we need willpower. The
No, you just need to screw it harder. That's what that means. You need more torque.
You need more exactly. Torque. You need to penetrate and pierce the heavens.
No, my drill is the drill.
Go right into it.
Get the sayings right, damn it.
Let's see, Denny. What is your opinion on Ian Malcolm surviving the first book when he dies? What? What's your opinion on Ian Malcolm surviving the first book when he dies?
In the first Jurassic Park novel, Ian Malcolm dies, or is said to have died relatively off camera, or should we say, because he's
off
not
off page.
Off page, right? But then he comes
cover.
back in the Lost World. I don't care. I thought he was fine. I really don't have a problem with him dying or coming back. It's like, it's what happens when you do a sequel.
Yeah.
And you want to do a sequel, but you don't know which character to do. And let's face it, Ian Malcolm, Jeff Goldblum did really well in that, and that was one of the more popular characters. So, of course, he's going to try and bring him back for the sequel, so he has to, kind of find a contrived way of bringing him back. That happens in a lot of movies, honestly. It's kind of a reverse example is what happened between Aliens and Alien 3.
Let's see. So, question, how does Japan feel about The Lion King? I don't know.
Because The Lion King is kind of
go out
it's a ripoff.
Go outside and ask the Japan, Andres. How
Just ask the Japan.
Ask
what
the
do you
Japan
think of
people
that?
at your next class, Andres.
But I'm sure they love The Lion King because they love everything that's Disney. So yeah, I'm sure they love it. Let's see. Joe is here. Let's see. Question: what do you guys think is the strongest Godzilla? I don't know, and personally, I don't care. Question:
whichever is strongest that the story demands it.
Yes, exactly. Always. Denny, and Shoma says, Denny, your thoughts on the mysterious / low point of prehistory known as Romer's Gap.
Romer's Gap, if I remember correctly, is a gap in prehistory where there's a very little fossil evidence, but then we have an abundance of fossil evidence. I want to double check my sources here because this could turn into. Okay, it's an apparent gap in the tetrapod fossil record during the study of evolutionary biology. It's basically a gap in the fossil record between 360 to 345 million years ago. So that's about 220. That's about 25 million years we don't have record of. I want to say this is kind of the same thing of why we suddenly have an explosion of biodiversity at the beginning of the Permian, which really isn't much of an explosion. We just don't have much fossil evidence for it because prior to the Permian explosion, or not Permian explosion, the Cambrian explosion, fossils, to get a fossil, you need to be preserved well. And usually to preserve well, you need hard-bodied stuff to be fossilized, such as chitin, bones, hard structures, not soft structures like flesh and muscle. But we have evidence of things that are organisms that don't have soft bodies. In this instance, this does introduce a gap, but I think there could be a couple of explanations for that, such as we don't have very good areas or environments that would allow for preservation of material, because this is also going through part of the Silurian to Devonian, which does have some good fossil records in various places. But because of plate tectonics, because of some areas not being preserved well enough, and other localized instances of both plant and animal radiation, we just don't have a good fossil record of it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Science!
Let's see. Question. Thoughts on Cars from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Cars, for those who don't know, is the second... He is the main villain for the second story arc of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And while he's not as charismatic as Dio from the first and third story arcs, I still think he's a very intimidating, very memorable villain. He's definitely indeed a bastard, and that helps him separate himself from the other Pillar Men that are on his team. And his punishment at the end, his comeuppance at the end of the series, is super fucked up, and it's like gloriously fucked up. Where it's like it's like one of those punishments where it's like he's not living, he's not dead, he's just in this state of perpetual limbo, and it's glorious. Okay, next question. Who do you consider the most boring Godzilla enemy? I'd say Titanosaurus. I highly disagree with that sentiment, good sir. I would say... Well,
In fact, go fuck yourself.
I would say Dagara, but he's not. He's a Mothra villain. But he's technically in Godzilla Planet of the Monsters, so I can count him as a Godzilla monster now. So Dagara.
Well, this is the most boring or most...
Boring.
Most boring?
Boring.
As much as I like it, as much as I like the movie, I think kind of King Ghidorah in Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah in 1992 is kind of boring as a villain.
Okay.
Gets a bit interesting as he becomes Mecha King Ghidorah, but other than... He's just kind of a generic, genetically modified monster used by people from the future. It kind of denotes him of any kind of actual personality and anything to be liked about him.
Okay. And for you, Brayden?
Giant Condor. That's said.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Question from Crooked. Denny, Andres, you both technically work for me, so will you two have a rap battle to decide who is my favorite of you two? No.
Why should we battle? That's your job.
Yeah, it's your job to make up your own mind, damn it.
Damn it.
Let's see. Amanda says...
You may pay us, but we don't do that for you.
Let's see. What indie giant monster movie would you think should be more well-known and have a Region 1 home video release with the giant monster community? Gahara, the dark and long-haired monster.
Because yes, I was going to say that. That one's actually good.
It does what Death Kappa and Monster X Strikes Back Attack the G8 Summit tried to do, but way better. Let's see. Question, Mothra, no. What are your thoughts on Season 2 of Iron Blooded Orphans? Oh yeah, because people have been waiting for Denny and I to review Season 2.
Have they?
Oh yeah, I still get comments saying, when are you going to review Season 2?
Well, we may have to get on that here and then probably aim for after G-Fest then?
Ooh, imagine if we recorded at G-Fest.
Oh God, I have to watch everything before.
That's a stupid idea. Who would record anything at G-Fest?
Yeah, Braytone. Who would be
Ridiculous
dumb enough to
notion.
do that?
But in all seriousness, I'm assuming Iron-Blooded Orphans has already wrapped up in America.
It has. I haven't had a chance to watch it. I think my roommate may have deleted it off of my DVR, so I'll just Crunchyroll it.
Damn you, zombie!
No, Zombie's not my roommate. That's Jake.
Okay. Oh, Jake. I thought I always confuse your roommates' names. Damn you, Jake!
I'm a Jake.
Let's see. But yeah, to quickly give our thoughts. It's great. It's just as good as the first season, I believe, and it's a great continuation and conclusion to the Iron-Blooded universe or the Iron-Blooded story. I still think the universe is big enough for more stories, but usually that's not how Gundam or Bandai tends to go about things. But I would like to see an expansion to this universe now that the Iron-Blooded Orphan story is wrapped up.
And since I haven't seen it, I can't say anything else on it. I've seen some other people do some slight reviews on it and give some thoughts, but I need to sit down and actually watch it here, so I may end up...
It's one of the most bittersweet endings since, Zeta Gundam.
Spoilers? Gah.
It's Gundam. You know people are going to die.
I know people are going to die.
War sucks. Remember, that's the message.
War sucks.
It's funny how with Gundam, it's like war sucks, but at the same time, war looks cool.
War looks cool as fuck.
It's like it's this interesting hypocrisy. What?
Also, child soldiers.
Yes, it's this interesting hypocrisy that Gundam relishes in, where it's like war sucks, but it looks so damn cool.
It looks fucking cool. Oh my God, the times we live in.
Yeah. Let's see. Question: What would they exactly do for the plot of for the Shin Godzilla sequel? How would I know?
No idea.
Probably this time just take a giant shit on the grave of Ashiro Honda in this movie. I think that would be the natural progression.
Question: Thoughts on the Venom movie?
Eh?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, so yeah, whatever. Okay.
Question: Would you ever like to see a Godzilla design with feathers? Oh, that's interesting.
That'd be interesting, but it wouldn't make well. Depending on how the feathers are structured, wouldn't make sense for an aquatic reptile. Even though penguins and some other seafaring birds you can get away with. But then again, I'm also not of the opinion.
So like a fuzzy Godzilla.
Yeah, but I'm also not of the opinion that Godzilla is actually a dinosaur, except in the Heisei era, because I think he's more of like a.
I'd like to see a villain with feathers, but I wouldn't. I don't know about Godzilla.
Godzilla's more of like a Permian mammal-like reptile. Is the closest I think he is to anything actually in the fossil record.
I want to see like that chicken monster from the original Ultraman with the poison feathers or whatever. He can come back. Geronimon or Geronimon.
You know what, Brain? I will design a kaiju with feathers.
Oh, there you go.
I will design one.
Yeah, you go.
You just got to pay him to do it.
Well. There's where we come to a little.
Well, I think Brayton and I can come to a bit of a understanding on that front, because he still needs to edit in our Godzilla the Room special.
Okay, I'll do that if you do the other thing.
Yes.
Okay, so let's see. Question from Steve here. Steve Q versus Shark Fighter. Who wins?
Yes, and always.
Always.
I don't know.
That's an in-joke within an in-joke.
That is an in-joke within an in-joke. So, quick summary. Steve's a friend of ours who lives in Seattle. He couldn't come to his G-Fest one year, so our friend Zombie made a Muppet-style Steve that we named Steve Q.
Oh, like Avenue Q?
Yes, exactly. Yes, Steve Q. Steve Plan Q is what it was. Because that was one of our multiple plans for getting Steve to G-Fest. Shark Fighter is actually myself, because I actually headbutted a shark when I was 6.
What? Okay, another story for another day.
Yes, we will discuss the Shark Fighter story at another time.
Was that the other alternate ending of Jaws 4?
No, this was the Last Shark's alternate ending.
Oh, okay. That's even better.
Let's see. Primal Graphenosaurus Rex. Question: What's the worst dinosaur movie ever?
Good question.
I haven't seen enough. I haven't seen enough bad dinosaur movies.
Quite a number. For me, there's a lot to enjoy about dinosaur movies. mostly because they're dinosaurs and I'm 6. I'd have to say maybe the worst one, although the effects are really good. The acting and pacing and plot is terrible. Is Planet of the Dinosaurs? If you can,
Oh, I'm looking at that movie right now on my shelf, Denny.
watch it with the VOD from the guys at Rift Tracks because they make
Yeah.
those scenes fucking bearable.
Let's see.
Yeah, that's the only way to watch it. Otherwise, it's just it's got a cool cameo from oh god,
Dinosaurus.
Oh,
Beast
yes.
right down the back.
yes. But other than that, it's just horrible, boring people walking.
It's like the cast from a 70s porn crash landed in the desert, and then every 30 minutes or so you have these stop motion gifts from God of dinosaurs finally doing something.
Really awesome stop motion. Really bad movie.
Really good. Really good stop motion, I think.
Let's see. Looking for it. Question, what's your thoughts on Afterman, a zoology of the future? Ooh. Afterman, is that the one where it's like humans start producing animal-human hybrids because...
what he's talking about is Animal Planet. I believe Animal Planet may have been National Discovery or National Geographic did a series where basically if man just completely disappeared off the Earth, what would happen?
Oh, I always love that. Like this is a book. It started from a book that then they turned into a movie. They also made the authors also made another book called The New Dinosaurs: An Alternative Evolution, and they made another one where it was like humans evolving, man after man, an anthropology of the future, where it's like mankind genetically engineered. Like most of the human species, most of the animal species have gone extinct. So man tries to fill the void by genetically engineering these animal-man-human hybrids to fill in the gap. So you have like a human bear and a human whale, a human tiger.
The thing that's cool an idea, but as far as a practical scientific standpoint, it's all speculative.
Right. All of this is speculative. It's all speculative
and
evolution.
I can only like some of it to a point.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're trying to guess the directions that evolution is going to take when evolution is going to involve nature or environmental selection pressures, interspecies selective pressures, intraspecies selective pressures, sexual selection pressures.
It's a lot of guesswork.
There's so many variables involved. It's really difficult to even begin to speculate or to even estimate how it would happen. So it's all speculation, in my opinion. Cool ideas, but after a certain point, it's like, you're just making shit up.
Oh, like monkey squids.
Right.
But I still like the topic of that, of the idea of speculative evolution. Let's see. Question, favorite 80s mecha anime? I'm gonna have to default to what?
I want to say Voltron. I think that was 80s.
Yeah, it was definitely 80s. Yeah, that was the pinnacle of 80s.
Voltron.
Let's see. I would really have to look back at my list of top favorite robots again and see, well, which one was from the 80s. But we're just going to have to default to Gundam. Which particular Gundam? Let's see here.
I was thinking of Super Robots, but honestly, if it's Gundam, I'd have to go with 08 MS Team.
I think that's 90s, maybe.
Is that 90s?
Let's see. 8th.
I think we've had this conversation before.
MS Team. Checking what year that is. That is 1996.
Oh, damn! That's a lot. That is a lot more closer to when I saw it than what I thought. All right,
I'll go with Zeta Gundam. Zeta Gundam is awesome. Let's see. Oh, Dougram. Dougram is also amazing. Let's see. I keep hearing a lot about Ideon, the show that the Gundam creator made before he moved on to Gundam. Ooh, Macross. Macross is amazing.
Macross is amazing.
Yeah. Let's see. I appreciate parts of Double Zeta Gundam. The first 20 episodes are really boring and a slog to get through, but after that it picks itself back up. But yeah, I would definitely go with Robotech, Macross, Zeta Gundam, and Macross. Macross, Zeta Gundam, and Dougram. Those are the three I would go with. Let's see. Andres, I like the Rebirth of Monster series. Let's see, not a question. Question: would you guys watch a Gamera movie?
I've watched all the Gamera
Yeah?
movies.
I
Yes,
have
would.
seen
I
all.
think I would like to watch a
Gamera-
Gamera movie. Let's see, question. I saw a video about the history of mecha anime, and I was thinking, is mecha getting old this era so it can come back? Is mecha getting old this
Like,
era?
is mecha on the is I think you mean I think.
Mhm.
Get me wrong. I think what he means, like, is mecha phasing out as a popular medium, and we're getting more into like other mediums as far as what's big, like, you know, fantasy anime, fantasy shows,
I
or
think
giant monster shows kind of thing.
The thing is, like, I feel like the anime industry is becoming less ambitious, and it's just going on repeat, just rehashing the same tropes again and again and again, because the anime industry is so in such dire straits right now that they really care about their getting profits back, and you know the only way to get profits is by rehashing the same stuff over and over again and giving the audiences what they expect, what they want, nothing new, nothing interesting. So I would say, and also, you know, something like mecha anime would be expensive to make, and I would say, like, maybe it's much more easier to produce another, what's it called, high school drama number 4076 than a mecha anime. There is this mecha anime that's in Japan right now, but I forgot what its name is, but it's this really weird fucking thing where there are these girls, and these girls are plugged into the robots.
Oh, Darling in the Flanks?
I think so, yeah. And then the men have to, like, plug in these the men control the robots that the girls are subconsciously also controlling, and the men have to, like, plug in these, like, joystick controllers in the women's asses in order to pilot the robots. It's like, okay, I'm done.
If it's the same show I'm thinking of, it's done by the same studio that did Kill la Kill.
Right, it's Trigger. It's Studio Trigger. I've seen some clips of the animation, which looks amazing, but I can't get past the premise. It's like, this is for a certain audience.
But you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it, but I've seen, like, clips of it. It's like, I feel uncomfortable.
Come on, Andres, you're not giving it a chance.
I'm uncomfortable with this thing. I don't like it.
Oh, please, you're in Japan. Everything's uncomfortable there.
No, it's not. Actually, that's only Tokyo. That's only Tokyo.
Ah.
Well, let's see. And the rest of Japan is not like Tokyo. To some otaku or weeaboo's sad dreams. Let's see. Question. I saw a video. No, that's the same one. Question, do you guys want Varan to have another movie?
I'd be interested to see Varan get another solo movie. I'm just kind of interested. I'd be more interested to see what the plot they do for it is to make it different from the Varan the Unbelievable. So
yeah. Question, Gigan vs. Bagan, is that a good movie idea? Anything could be a good movie idea.
It just depends on whether or not it's executed well.
Thoughts on Thundercats?
Oh, the Thundercats promo for Thundercats Roar that came out.
I don't like the art style just because I've seen it a million times. I've never been a fan of the lol so random humor. I'm just not interested. It's not my thing.
I am willing to give it a shot. I've seen the old Thundercats cartoon, like the first Thundercats cartoon. I never saw the second one that came out. That apparently was on Cartoon Network for like a couple of years, and no one paid attention.
Oh, according to Steve gave me some more info on the 2011 Thundercats reboot, and CN Warner Brothers and Cartoon Network intentionally screwed that show over.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all, actually. But as far as, because Cartoon Network seems to have this habit of like screwing shows over.
Yeah, like Symbionic Titan,
Young Justice,
Megas XLR.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, action shows in general.
Yeah, it's like I think I heard part of the reason they got rid of Young Justice was having too many girls were watching it. Because like that's a fucking dumb reason.
Because girls don't buy the toys, and at the end of the day, all they care about are toy sales. If the show doesn't have a toy line to promote, and if they're not making any money off of said toy line, there's no point for them to continue the show.
Which is really weird because you'd expect with a show like Steven Universe is one of their more popular shows, at least as far as any kind of internet fandom has and fandom support, there would be a toy line for that shit. I just now started seeing toys for it here this last year.
That is strange also, yeah. But
maybe Rebecca as far as Thundercats...
I was going to say, maybe... Go ahead.
Sorry.
I was going to say, maybe Rebecca Sugar has more of a pull in Cartoon Network.
Maybe. But as far as like Thundercats Roar, I'll give it a shot. I'll see what it's like. Because if it's kind of that self-parodying stuff by people who actually like the stuff, I enjoy that kind of humor because
Robot Chicken. What Robot Chicken does.
Like that. Yeah, like kind of like that kind of humor. You poke fun at the situation and just the absurdity of the setting. Yeah. I'm okay with that because that makes perfect sense. That's humor I like and I appreciate because I do the same thing with every Godzilla movie I watch as I rip it.
Yeah. But if it turns out to be like Minion stuff, it's like wacky characters being all wacky for just because they are. It's like
right. Then it may not be as good. But it's also done in the same style that you see like Steven Universe and OKKO, which for those series that style works. For Thundercats, I'm willing to give the creative force behind it a chance to let it grow and let's see what it turns into.
Yeah.
So I want to give it.
Because it shares such a very similar art style to a lot of modern day cartoons, like like the two that you mentioned, or like Clarence, or the new Ben 10 reboot. It's like it kind of takes away the identity that Thundercats had, and even some people have gone back and tried to redesign the character designs, and they look more unique and something that gives it its like more personality. But here, everyone here kind of looks like very pudgy, goblin-looking blobs.
They're chibi versions of themselves in a very Americanized chibi style, I'd argue. But
yeah, complete with that same like oval bean-shaped mouth that all the cartoon characters seem to have nowadays.
Right.
With that single row of teeth.
Yeah. So, like I said, I'll give it a shot. See how it is.
Okay.
Just give it some time.
Let's see. Thoughts on Full Metal Panic? Never watched it.
Saw the OVA parody of it. Maybe a couple episodes. Read 2 volumes of the manga. I didn't get into it.
Let's see. Question: what is a mecha series you want in Super Robot Wars? Super Sentai, if that counts. I know they had Jew Ranger in the mobile game, but I want to see it in a console game. Oh, and I want to see Doug Ram also.
That'd be interesting.
Let's see. Question: what would you guys want? Destroy It and make a comeback, or have its own solo movie? Sure, I don't see why not. Question: favorite MST3K episode? I haven't watched a lot, but I always liked the first Gamera movie. Calling all fighter planes. Fighter planes.
Oh god, I love it. Anything like season 8 and higher, I love. Although I'll watch some of the stuff from like season 6 and season 5.
Brayden, are you there?
Yeah, yes, I'm here.
Okay, you're the MST3 guy, definitely. So
yeah, it's my favorite show of all time. I'll kind of go the opposite way of Denny, though I do love the season 8 and up things as well. My favorite episode always changes, but right now it's either Santa Claus Conquers the Martians or Gamera vs. Euron is just fantastic. The Godzilla episodes are also good too.
We didn't mention it, and I didn't mention a reference from it. It was Werewolf is pretty good. It depends on what mood I'm in to read, because like I'll watch Werewolf, I'll watch. I
don't know. You had him last.
Final Sacrifice is actually also kind of funny too when they riff.
Oh yeah, I love it.
That one's hilarious.
And it's so Canadian. It's great.
It is so Canadian.
Let's see. Question: do you guys want a sequel to Godzilla Final Wars?
No.
It's way too late.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Get out.
Wait, no, but everybody's dead. How are they going to do that?
Let's see. They'll go right into it, Brayton. That's how they do it.
Out.
No.
The only one left.
Remember the last line? It's not the end, Brayton. It's a brand new beginning.
No, Brayton. What they do is
then the series ended.
No. Here's what they do. They tie it into the Godzilla animated show. That's how they do
it.
Well, anyway, but that.
Let's see. Andres, can you tell me where I can get the whole Evangelion series? Amazon, with a lot of money, because those DVDs I'm sure are out of print.
And deep pockets.
Yes. Let's see. Question: do you guys think that Monster X Kaiser Ghidorah could hold a solo movie? Again, And anything can be a good movie. Just it's all about the execution. Let's see. Crooked says Moon Girl is a horrible character. Devil Dinosaur is awesome though. I'll take your word from it. I'll take your word from it, Crooked, since you're my friend. Let's see. Question, Denny, do you think any prehistoric marine animals still alive today?
No. Okay, so I want to make this quick because it is late. We're running down questions. Okay,
Yeah.
if you're asking about if stuff like Megalodon exists, or Mosasaurs exists, or Nessie exists, or plesiosaurs still exist in the oceans, no, we would have found them by now. That's the thing. We're talking about large animals that need air to for most of them that people ask about need air to survive. If you start speculating, well, maybe if they grew gills, you can't prove that, and if I don't have evidence for it, it's not enough evidence to convince me that these things exist. Because I think that may have tied along with like the upcoming Meg movie with Jason Statham. Hello?
Yeah. Yeah, you're talking about the Megalodon.
I think that question. Yeah, I think that question ties into like the Megalodon coming back and some other stuff. Like, could a Megalodon exist? Megalodon disappears from the fossil record, completely. So it's like, no. If it's not in the fossil record, odds are it's gone. Unless it evolved into something else, but there's no evidence to suggest that. So just,
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see. Going down, we're near the finish line. Question, what character death almost or did drove you guys to tears? Littlefoot's mother from Land Before Time.
I want to say the main female character from Your Lie in April. That show gave me all the fucking feels, and I still can't forgive my friend for showing it to me.
Okay.
Damn.
And
anything and everything drives me to tears because I'm a very emotional wreck when it comes to
I hugged
tugging
him
and
at G-Fest last year, and he cried.
Although that was in
may have been
terror.
that may have been the
fear.
broken spine.
Yeah. But no, I'm a very emotional person when it comes to characters that like dying. But most recently, Luke Skywalker, his death made me.
Yeah.
Let's see. Question for Andres. What are you more interested in terms of television and animation? Japan or America? Definitely America, because I feel like there's a lot more variety there.
America.
Fuck yeah. Jordan says, question, who is your favorite Gundam pilot? Mine is Mikazuki from Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans. Well, my favorite Gundam pilot's hand is burning red. His loud roar tells him to grasp victory.
Oh my God.
I could have gone so. I thought you were going to go somewhere else with that, especially with that phrase. I thought you were going somewhere else, but no. Doma Kashu is really fun, just as a character, especially his growth through the entire series.
Fuck yeah.
I actually like Duo Maxwell.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The
Duo's got the God of Death. He's got so much personality. Anything that his voice actor says with him and his American voice actor says with him is great and right on point. It's like, I love this guy. This guy's great.
Who is he? Scott McNeil?
I think so.
Yeah, because he did Scott McNeil did a shit ton of voices in the 90s and maybe even today. Mm-hmm. But yeah. So Duo, he's easily the most entertaining character from Gundam Wing. Let's see. So we have reached the end, and I guess there's Brain kept telling everybody no more questions.
Stop it!
They must learn their places.
I expect Brayton to look like that one girl that says, "Leave Andres and Denny alone."
Silence.
And he just has mascara running down his cheeks. His hair is all disheveled.
And now we're 3 hours in, so I think now would be a great time to finish things off. So, thank you very much, everybody. We've had once again a really great showing. Thank you so much for all the questions, all the support. Hope you guys enjoy the show as much as we enjoyed making it. And as always, it's always a blast being able to interact with you guys. So, Brayden and Denny, would you like to pimp out your stuff before we end things?
For those of you asking, yes, I do have social media. Yes, I do have some various stuff. I am dr-studios.deviantart.com. I am at Deck Real Studios on Twitter. I'm also I do have an Instagram. It's Draco Ray Lynn. That's Draco with a K. And I'm also the artist and creative lead for the webcomic series Marshall Star, and which has its own Twitter and webpage at marshallstar.thecomicseries.com.
And for you, Brayden?
Lovely. Yes, I have social media, but I won't accept any of your friend requests. I'm so sorry. I'm a very,
Leave
very
me
private
alone.
person, and I'm too weird for all of you. Andres knows this.
You can't have
but
me.
no,
I'm unhavable.
I am unhavable. But no, yes, look forward to more audio synchronicities. Look forward to the Kaiju Noirs G-Fest Experience 2 Atomic Boogaloo coming next month. It's going to be awesome.
Gonna be huge.
It's going to be in a month and a half.
Well, whatever. No, yeah, I guess it is a month and a half. A month and a half. Look forward to that. Also, what else am I doing? Oh, yes. I've done more voice work for Crate Dragon Films, which do a lot of Star Wars-related comic dubs and stuff like that. I'm the voice of Han Solo in three new videos that came out since our last recording of this show, and they turned out fabulously.
Excellent.
And that's about it. That's all I got. Yeah.
Awesome. And as for me, you can be sure I have a couple of theatrical movie reviews in the works right now. I have my review for Rampage, my review for Avengers of Infinity War, and my review. I haven't recorded it yet, but I'm planning on doing one for Ready Player One. And in the meantime, you can also check out my review for Godzilla City on the Edge of Battle if you want to know my thoughts on that. We couldn't get to spoiler talk for this here for City on the Edge of Battle, but we could probably do it next time. Since nobody here asked any questions about City on the Edge of Battle, I guess nobody was interested. But we can we can do it next time. But yeah, go figure. So also be sure to check out the Kaiju vs. Cancer Facebook page. Right now we finished. We are all the shirts for the second T-shirt design drawn by Tyler Souls is being sent out everywhere, and people are getting their. Everybody's getting their T-shirts now around this time. So we right now the shirt sales are over, and we're taking a small break in preparation for our third shirt, which will be a collection of our human-sized characters in homage to Crisis on Infinite Earths. So definitely look forward to that. That will be drawn by Wilson Ramos Jr., who is the creator behind Team Kaiju, which is another indie comic. In the meantime, you can also you can follow the Facebook page for all the latest info. And finally, you can check out my Instagram, where I post art related to, and thumbnails art related to my videos. You can also follow me on SoundCloud, which I just started recently, where I'm putting up all my podcast reviews on there. And you can also check out my Facebook page for Primal Warrior Draco Azul, which is a Facebook page which is has all the updates and everything related to my giant robot comic book, which we're nearing the finish line here. We're about across the halfway point, so we're halfway done with the comic, but we're nearing the finish line, so I'm hoping that we'll be able to finish it and get it all printed and set up just in time for G-Fest, where you can find me at Denny's booth here, where we'll both hopefully be, if all goes well, be able to finish everything. And sorry, Godzilla King of the Kaiju, you did not ask any City on the Edge of Battle related questions. You were just wasting our times with your incessant need for versus questions. Let's see. But I'm very sorry, but if you want City on the Edge of Battle questions answered, you can ask them next time. Okay, so thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. It's been a pleasure being able to have the chance to interact with all of you as usual. So until next time, I have been Andres Perez, aka Kaiju Noir.
I'm Danny Roth, also known as Draco Ray Lynn, also known as DR of DR Studios.
Also known as the legendary creature, the Roth Squatch.
I'm the elusive Western Kansas Yeti. Get it right, damn it.
And I'm Brayton Connor.
And until next time, everybody, take care. For your audio has been synchronized.
That's cheesy.